Yeah, and do you know what it was as well? I think when with Clubhouse, it it came at a time where like we were talking about with everybody being in the pandemic, people had too much time.
Too much to say.
Here's the thing, right? If you don't see someone often, right?
Yes.
The chances are you're gonna argue less, just simply because the time that you're with them, you're like, I'm not gonna waste this time arguing. This time is too limited. If you see someone all the time, now you got time to let them know everything you've ever thought.
Right, right.
And so what happened was everyone had so much time to start rooms, to be joining and conversations and whatnot, that people just said too much.
Mm.
If you if you are limited in certain ways, you actually do a lot of filtering and editing for yourself. You cut out a lot of nonsense and you kind of get straight to your point. Every day on the app, black men are this, black women, black men, just pure negativity. There was one time they did a whole series of stories about. No, there was some like interesting moments, right? So like the cast of the musical Lion King, they did like an audio performance, right? So singing, that was huge. That was a full room, and so there were moments like that. You can't just say it was just all pure negativity. But like there was one time where this girl held a room where she was like, "Come and tell your horror stories about dealing with black hairstylists." So it's this black woman telling like, "Oh, my hairstylist basically took money. Then she started doing my hair. She left in the middle of it. She went to the blah blah blah, right?" And everybody feels like, "Oh,
Dramatic.
um, this is really really like a good opportunity to
Dude.
just air your grievances." But very quickly, it just becomes really, really like
Of
negative and
course.
heavy, right? And the problem is that's what attracts people.
Yes.
That room was not only full, they had people started rooms basically just playing the audio what was going on in that room, and those rooms would get full. That means there was like 10 to 15,000 people just listening to negative stories about these black businesses. And then the woman would be like, next Wednesday we're gonna do some other black business, category. So obviously the popularity is there, right? The popularity is she's got one of the most popping rooms on the whole app. People are down for it, but popularity never measures like whether you're making a positive impact or not. If you're just counting it on based on how many people are in there, you could basically murder somebody, or on a live stream, and it'll be full because people will be watching. Like, what the heck is this? Then you could actually like save somebody on a live stream and have less people and be convinced that I guess his one was popping more. I should murder more people. Do you see what I'm saying? When your only metric is numbers, sometimes it just takes away any kind of humanity. And that's what the app was like. That's what Clubhouse was like during this pandemic. It just, I was grand opening, grand closing for me, man. After a while, I just couldn't do it
it's so
anymore.
funny because I don't really get involved in stuff like Black Twitter or black debates. Even I don't really get involved in it.
Yeah.
I try
In public, right?
yeah
Because we talk about that kind
of course,
yeah.
not on social media. I mean, I would
Yeah.
say stuff on my status, like when I think when Samuel Jackson said, the black British actors are cheaper, and there was a whole uh, transatlantic war
Yeah.
between quote unquote black Brits and black Americans,
Mm.
and it was so sad to see because like most of the things that black people do, we do it for show. So it's not enough to just disagree. It's now time to go on Breakfast Club and call him out on his drug habit and how his mama used to drive, shoes to church. And you're just like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
the next tool that black people do is classic tool. Like when Kwame Brown expressed how he felt about how they were talking about him. If you want to pull up, you can pull up. We can do this. It's like, why do you have to pull up? You're going to fight and prove what?
Yeah.
Like, how does the fight prove the point?
I feel
You understand?
bro.
And so it's very immature. It's still a crabs in a bucket mentality. We can have disagreements, and I'm not even going to say black people, but people love to just, black people, black entertainment. Black entertainment still seeped in ghetto-ness.
Okay.
Almost, when I say ghetto, I mean the heighten of ignorance.
Okay.
So it's fun to see. We love it. Lil Uzi talking about this person or little person or
Yeah.
you know 50 Cent trolling Ja Rule. But like you said, you don't see the whole negativity behind it. Like when 50 Cent said he bought the whole front roll of Ja Rule's thing so
15
people want to
rows,
come.
yeah.
It was funny on Instagram.
Yeah.
But you're stopping that man from eating. And for what? For clicks and likes? For beef that we don't even care about?
You know, this is one of our biggest gifts and curses. Whenever Western society decided that we were the most entertaining people, right, and we all decided, you know, entertainment was going to be our way out.
I don't think we decided. I don't think there was a choice.
I mean, when I say decided, I use that very loosely. But when I say like what I mean is that when these came into formation, right, there was a gift in it, which was that our very natural talents and abilities, you know, the great voices, the amazing sports skills, the comedians, all of these things really, really have changed the way that the world even experience their own entertainment, because now you have white artists and white people and people of all races trying to emulate what we do, right? It's a strong position. There's a lot of power there. But at the same time, if your thing is entertainment, after a while, right, if you don't have any sort of wider cultural relevance and structure, what you will do for entertainment will immediately head towards the lowest common denominator. Because if you're here for entertainment and you need to make money, you're eventually gonna have to do what's the most entertaining, the most consistently for the most people. And that, unfortunately, is a race to the bottom. So that's why you have to have drama, because people like conflict. And then you have to like have salacious stories. So and so cheated. So and so slept with so and so. And the thing about entertainment's always had like sort of highbrow and lowbrow. This idea of like, you know, this is like classy entertainment and this is like sordid entertainment. The reason why is just because if you put some structures on entertainment, there's some things you won't do, even if it is entertaining.
Right.
You'd be like, look, even if this is funny, I'm not saying it.
But sometimes, is it entertainment? Is it entertainment? I'm not even just talking about how. I'm just talking about how. Because you said there's power in that position. The truth is there is zero power because we're not in charge of any of the entertainment we actually put out.
The power is of influence.
But we don't control the influence. We don't control our own influence. So hip hop music is not controlled by black people. It's not like they dictate the message. It's actually dictated from the people that fund the music.
I agree with you.
So when I say
for the people that have been in control of their message, they've been able to do a lot with this platform of being able to rap or being able to
do a lot in what sense?
Because in terms of influencing people.
Yeah, but okay, that's fine. But that's not what people have to understand is this. An entertainer cannot save black people.
Yes, true.
Entertainers are not there to save us.
Yep.
They're literally there to entertain.
Of course.
To take your mind off of the pressures of life. Be it through music and comedy and stuff like that. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for us, we've been picked into a position where not only these black people are entertainers, they're also our leaders now. They're also our voices of points of reference.
Yeah, now
why
you're
can't you be like Denzel? But why
Yeah.
can't you be like, look at LeBron, he's a great man. I remember Dominic Holland said to me, you know,
calling names out, God,
we were at Dubai together, and he was like,
I don't think he listens, but
at all, and I don't care if he does, but he was like, you know, he loves Denzel Washington. He just seems like a great man, but it's not that he loves Denzel Washington. He loves the air of that, you know, responsible black person. Do you see what I'm saying? And so these people become points of references.
Yeah.
So when you have someone's talking about race, I think John Barr said something, and then someone actually said to him, I think a black person, you know, black people were just correcting him saying no. And then the white person commented saying, I think we should all listen to John Barr for someone who experienced real racism. And I was like, so what do you think we experience? Phony racism?
We got that reborn racism.
I was like, oh, there's real racism out there. So now I'm getting that cheap racism all this time.
Golly.
So, but to him, because he had a banana thrown at him, he's experienced the height of racism.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, that's not even the height of racism. They threw a banana at him. It's ignorance.
Yeah.
Racism is like, he didn't actually play for England.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Racism is when you represent your country, but they'd rather say about your Jamaican dad who's in prison. That's the racism.
Yeah.
That constantly shapes your mind to look at this person as the other.
Yeah.
And so, for instance, Raheem Sterling right now is
Yeah,
the
I was
most
about to ask you
important
that.
black person in the world. So, for instance, in this country, anything that is affecting black people or concerned with black people, they'll use Raheem Sterling to represent that. And sometimes, a lot of the times, that's our problem because we take our cue from these people.
What do you think about the current narrative around, obviously Raheem has been a top goal scorer. He scored the first goal against Germany. But most of the media kind of went with
whose country do you live
headline.
in? Like, whose country do you
I know
really
I don't
think
even
you
really
live
need
in?
to ask you this
Yeah,
question,
like,
but I'm
whose
just setting it up so that we can...
For the people
Yeah.
listening, whose country do you really think you live in? What is the message here? In 1966, when England won the World Cup,
Yeah.
it was, I think it was Sir Bobby Charlton. Don't correct me. I think it is.
Yeah.
That's the message right there. That's what inspires the next generation of
Yeah.
Bobby Charltons. It has to be Gaza. It has to be David Beckham, Alan Shearer, Harry Kane. They're going to name their children after these people, not Raheem Sterling. Whether you like it or not, he's a black British. And the black comes before the British for a reason. Because you will always be black first. And there's nothing right or wrong about that. It's just how the nation is. There is an air of nationalism behind supporting the football team.
Of course.
You pledge allegiance in the national anthem. The flags are everywhere.
Yeah.
You're chanting on these teams, and you're ready to spit at the opposition if you have to get your team across the line. And you have these young boys representing that thing. Now, the idea that we as black people in this country, we cheer on the black boys. We want them to play well. We want them to score. We don't want them to be sent off the pitch because we know how the media is. That in itself is the prime example of the abusive relationship you're in as a black person. Do you know how crazy it is for you to watch a football match that in the grand scheme of life is just a game?
Yeah.
Right? But you're watching this game praying that a black person doesn't get sent off for something stupid or please score a goal, please play well, because you're afraid of what Massa might do.
Do you think black French people were watching Mbappe like
Absolutely. In France, they actually got annoyed because they said the team doesn't represent this. I think this was before the World Cup or one before the tournaments. The team doesn't represent France. But France had a problem. And just after the Zidane era, before the Zidane era, they were ass.
Okay.
Right? And the Federation came in and said, we need more pace and strength, which is code word for
Negros.
we need more Negroes in the team.
Negros.
And so they started getting the Negroes in the team, i.e. Pogba, Kante, Mbappe, Usona Dembele. You had
But before then, like they what about Thierry Henry, Marcus
that's,
Desailly?
yes, I said that's the people that came
Okay.
in. So before that, it was
So that was like the first wave of black French
of really
players.
mad black, where the whole team looked like that. So
Okay.
Lilian Thuram, Thierry Henry, Trezeguet, Vieira, and they had Will Todd in that team. They had Jokayev. They had a lot of. They took their minorities because they understood that's how they're going to get ahead. That was the first World Cup they won was in 1998.
Yeah, I remember
that was their
that,
first World Cup. They'd won some Euros, but that was their first World
And
Cup.
that FIFA, bro.
And so what I was trying to say was, in terms of, do I think of the headlines? You can't. If a dog barks at you, right?
Okay.
You can't say to yourself, why'd you keep barking? I'm a dog. It's what I do. I bark.
Yeah.
England do not make mistakes. I told you when. It's black success or black, quote unquote black excellence, because I don't really like that term, but black excellence. I don't know. Ainsley Harriott wins Cooking of the Year award, and they put a picture of Lenny Henry talking about congratulations. You think they didn't know who Ainsley Harriott is? And then everybody jumps in their feelings. This is why we need more black people in the positions of power, so these things that wouldn't happen. You think these white people didn't know who Ainsley Harriott is? Of course they did. But one, it's the only way the story's gonna get any traction anyway, because who cares? But it gets the clicks and it gets everybody talking about that story. However, this is to tell you that they know what they're doing. When Noel Clarke was up for sexual assault, how many publications got his picture wrong?
They knew that nigga.
They had his baby pictures. The evolution of Clarke.
They had the women popping out like, that's it there. There you go.
That's that nigga.
There he
Hey,
go.
hold on. They didn't need more black people in that position at that point.
Whoa.
They knew exactly who Noel Clarke was. When Bill Cosby was going through it, they didn't put a picture of Denzel Washington.
Yeah, man.
They knew what time it was.
For real.
So stop reading the publications and thinking they're going to give you anything different. They're called newspapers and they cost money, which means they have to sell them. and they will do anything they can to sell a story. I don't care how many goals Sterling scores in the tournament. They want the story to be around the England team and their captain Harry Kane, because that is what a nation does. That's how Hitler got Germany to believe in Germans. We're the greatest ones, the Aryan race. People believe in that shit. Look at Americans. USA, USA, make America great again. They believe in that shit.
Yeah. But you know, when we have these conversations, you're like, look, my parents swept the streets of this country so that you have to hear my voice. At what point do you just say, look, they didn't want to hear my voice, and that's cool?
Oh, they will hear your voice. They will hear it. Doesn't mean they have to listen, but they will hear your voice. Hearing your voice is just making you so you say your shit. They don't have to listen. I think we think they have to feel us. You don't have to feel it. You don't. Like Tupac said, and I'm for the quote in today.
Okay.
It's the rap called it's a track called Crazy.
Okay.
It goes the song is it goes, last year was a hard one, but life goes on. Bumping my head against the wall, learning right from wrong. They say my ghetto instrumental, detrimental to kids, as if they can't see the misery in which they live. Then he goes, blame me for the outcome. Bad my record, check it. Don't have to bump this, but please respect it. And that's it there. You don't have to bump this, bro. Just respect it. And if you could stay in that mode for your creativity, you'd be okay. But we want to get bumped, right?
Yeah.
You want to pop on every single platform, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize, some of us don't, you look at Beyonce's life and it looks pretty from where you see it. But I guarantee you, living it for a week, you might be like, you know what? Don't think it's for me.
100%. I'm very aware of this. I'm I'm hyper aware, especially because I've had to consider this many times trying to be a comedian and so on. I'm like, you know, yeah, I say I want success and so on. What does that look like? All right, cool. Let's say they now start calling me for movies and whatnot, right? Now people want to take pictures of my kids and take pictures of my wife. Am I going to be like, oh yeah, this is all fun and games? Hell no. I know that's going to be a problem for
then
me.
you have to deal with, I was watching Bill Burr and he was talking about there's no playbook for how, when you become rich and famous, how you know, because, you know, how you deal with a woman saying, I want to fuck you in front of your wife.
Bro.
Like, there's no playbook for that. And I'm just talking from a male perspective because I'm sure there's other... my brother was explaining this. My brother was telling me this the other day. It was like, you know, it's interesting that women don't have the same issues in terms of male groupies. It's so interesting because men are pigs. Right?
Yeah, I mean...
But for celebrity... I don't know because I've never really heard female celebrities talk about it. Yeah. I don't know if men are as forward towards them.
There'll be some men. There'll be some men who
in the industry,
that.
Right?
Maybe and surrounding. There are, I'm sure there are some guys where it's never absolutes, but in general, for most guys, the fact that you've got a record deal doesn't actually make you any sexier, because if you were the girl getting the coffee,
right.
Still bang.
Yeah, and that's what I said to a friend of mine. I said, when women go to a concert and see they want to fuck Trey Songz, Trey Songz is getting this. Throwing panties at him. It's Trey. Guys, first of all, I don't know a lot of guys who go to a Beyonce concert. I've never had the man that say, oh, well, welcome to see Beyonce. But if we were there, okay, we're not looking at Beyonce. There's a girl behind you.
Bro, there's a girl selling donuts,
right?
Bro.
Like if you play your cards right, you know what I mean? You might get a number tonight. You know what I mean? And that's the difference in how we see things, because we don't look at the star. Yeah, like you said, you being a star. In fact, me, a star lady is in my mind is out of my league.
Do you know what it is? The thing with the star for women is that what makes them usually more attractive in our minds is that we see them at their best all the time, and they take sexy pictures to get our attention. Right. In the grand scheme of things, they themselves are not that amazing, because we've all seen a regular woman walking around who, if given the same access to all of these clothes and looks and so on, she could outpace this.
So why do guys, the moment you become a star, all of a sudden you can attract some of the most beautiful women in the world with money and fame?
Because that's what they're looking for. This is the whole Kevin Samuels point. What they're looking for is very different from what we're looking for.
Well, not all women look for that. But what I mean is, why is that? Because what I mean is, why isn't the groupie game different from men than it is for women? In the sense where, I know women get male groupies. There's definitely that. Yeah, it
will happen, but it won't happen on the same level as it happens for men. Think about it on very simple terms. If let's say we're gonna take it as if it was like some evolutionary thing, right? And you've got men out in the world, and you've got a man who's particularly capable, right? And he can bring back resources and so on. And You're talking about, what men are looking for from women, the ability to maybe carry their children, someone to have sex with, and someone to cook the food. Think about how many people you know who can make the same money as Trey Songz. Let's just talk about it as if it was just money. How many people can make Trey Songz money? It's going to be that many people.
Yeah, very
How
few.
many women do you know are good looking, could carry a baby, and could cook your food? Multiple. So the stuff we're looking for is fairly common. And not only is it fairly common, we like a lot of it. Right? So it just makes sense.
But not every man's looking for that though.
I'm putting it in very crude terms. Obviously,
Right.
this is way more complicated.
Yeah.
But what I am saying is that it makes sense that in the grand scheme of things, the stuff we're looking for isn't that rare. There are beautiful women, good cook, nice, chilled, sexy. You can have sex with them. Blah blah blah. They're everywhere. But in terms of men, women are looking at the grand scheme of men. They're going, look, I have basic needs, so this is my bottom level, but I would like to have the most I could possibly get, which leaves them with no upper limit, just the bottom limit, right? So they go, I can't date a guy below this level of power, status, money, looks, dick size, whatever it is. But anything up and above is cool, right? So now, for a woman, you have to constantly try and see what's the highest I can get. All right, so I got a level 5 guy right now. I wonder if I could get a 6. I wonder if I could get a 7. And now imagine if you're a guy who's a 10 there. Almost every woman in the system wants you, because they've all got bottom limits, but no top limit.
But I think the problem is people.
So you can have multiple.
But there's no such thing as a 10 guy.
To some women, there are.
Oh, no, okay, fair enough. But if you think of it as a human being, on a logical standpoint,
Yeah.
what is a 10 guy? There's no
that's
such thing as a 10 guy.
a really good question, because obviously that's going to vary from person to
everything.
person. But for a lot of women,
Yeah.
finances alone,
Okay.
if you're in the top 10%
But
of
finances
earners,
does not make you a
you're
good
10.
guy.
It doesn't. You're right.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's the thing. They're going to want that, and
I
they
was
want it to be
watching
good
a
guy.
serial killer thing because I do my thing. I was watching not serial killer. I was watching Fatal Attraction.
Okay.
It's one of my pastimes, Ola.
Yeah.
Just sit there and watch it.
Oh, by the way, I need to send you this Instagram page. This guy does Nigerian True Crime.
Okay.
It's fantastic, bro.
Hey, send me that. I'm down with that. I
super
want to see some
creepy.
nice stuff
It's
with that.
super
Shout out to my
creepy, bro.
Nigerian innovators.
Yeah,
Don't worry,
yeah,
man. The
yeah.
presidents will. Anyway.
He tells you about all these old murders from the 80s in
Alright,
Lagos
dope,
and
dope.
stuff.
You know what?
It's dope.
When I heard Murtala Mohammed, who was the president of Nigeria, he's on the money. He's on the money.
He's the one who the airport's named after.
Yes, but he's on the 29 note.
I can't remember who's on which note.
But yeah, I heard his assassination story and it blew my mind. And they took us. This is when Nigeria had sense, and they took us to the museum where his car was stored, and you could see the bullet holes in the car.
Okay.
And this is why when people say it on me on Facebook, oh, why are you so harsh on Nigeria? Because you don't understand. That moment inspired me so much to learn about the history of my country and what these men did and why would someone want to assassinate him. The assassination plot was, I think it was, let me not say nothing because I misquote, but they went on the radio to say he's going to be assassinated so they could take over the country, but their plot got foiled. They did kill him, but they didn't get to take over the country and they had to face a firing squad. On Bar Beach, and they blew them off. But they were soldiers. So when they were going, they were like, "Yeah, we tried to make a move."
And do you know? And the mad thing is, that's not the last military coup.
No. And by the way, Obasanjo and them man were taking over Nigeria at 28. So they were like in their 30s as presidents. So a lot of issues there. But I said that to say, what were we talking about?
So yeah, I
was watching the Fatal Attraction. And this woman met a guy. She was, again, she was looking for a 10 guy, and he blew her away with the finances, and he killed her. But the point is, he ended up killing her. He ended up killing her. And she thought he was the perfect guy because he drove a nice car, because he said the right things, because he was suave.
Of course.
And first of all, the money was, I think it was kind of drug related. But the point is, he killed her. And my point being is, in your bid to look for the 10 or the 15 or the 26 or whatever it is that everyone's looking for, you have to understand life is very, very simple. Okay, you need peace of mind in this life. There's a lot of rich men. Okay, Like Bill Gates just got a divorce with his wife, and we all like, oh my god, she's getting pissed. You don't know what her whole marriage has been like with him.
Yeah,
They've probably been divorced for 10 years.
Yeah,
they might not have been living
fair
in the
enough.
same house. She might have been having to fuck the gardener. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, you don't know.
You don't know, but here's the thing.
So
though.
the idea you're gonna plan this. The idea you're gonna get it right because you meet a guy that ticks all the boxes you need. You're gonna leave. You end up leaving. You might end up leaving disappointed because
you end up in McDonald's.
Because it's just. I remember I said,
Okay.
what happened to the days when people don't want to struggle in this life? They don't. They don't want to fight for love.
Struggle.
They don't want to. Know.
But you have to realize some people. No, let's always make the preface. Just say it blanket now. Some, okay, just because I know someone's gonna be like, I don't mind.
Yeah. Some.
Right, cool. Some people.
Because before you even go into that, you're right.
But a lot of people don't want to struggle.
Do you know what it is, Ola? I honestly believe it's the world of the internet and Instagram that has these issues. I believe you take yourself out into the real world, people are actually getting along with the things, the raw tools they
Girls
have.
are shouting online, I will never split bills with a guy, and they are funding a guy 100%. And people talk the wickedest online like they're so strong and they never get taken advantage of. No one online has ever been stupid or taken an L or blah, blah, blah. Everyone online has
been
all
vulnerable.
the wisdom.
No one online's been vulnerable.
Until they want to tell a story of how they were hurt a long time ago, but since then they bust up and it's never happened to them again. Never again with someone. No, every day you men are getting taken for idiot. Girls are getting taken for idiots every day. Every day, B.
In your relationships.
Yeah, it's never that
I've
simple.
spoken to a lot of female friends of mine who they tell you stories of some of their relationships, and you're like, wow, why did you put up with that? And I'm talking just helping him. I paid his rent one time. I was like, wow. You know?
Do you know what? One thing I found really interesting, and I think it was actually Kevin Samuels that said this, but I think it might explain sometimes how we have these confusing conversations, especially between men and women. That men are often using their words to describe reality and women are using their words to create reality. So when a woman says, never again will a guy take me for an idiot, what we hear is, oh, you're infallible. No one can ever take you for an idiot. What she's saying is, I'm speaking it into my life that I'm creating a reality in which this never happens to me, right? So if you understand that concept and that principle of like, men are describing reality and women are creating reality, it starts to make sense as to why, you can have so many sort of like misguided conversations right now online about like what the standard is and like how he needs to be making six figures and so on. What they're trying to do is they're trying to speak it into existence. Like if I say it, like it will happen and I will get a guy with six figures. And we're hearing, oh, that's the hard limit. And if I don't have six figures, these girls don't even pay any respect, blah, 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 blah. The truth is most of these girls shouting six figures online are going to end up with a guy who makes a good low 5 figures and they're going to be cool and they're going to make it work because that's life, right?
That's real life.
But what they were trying to, because there is that need to try and see what's the most I can get. Nobody wants to come out and say, I just want this.
Yeah, because
most people don't want to say that.
Our examples of love are distorted. It's funny. I was having a conversation with my friend yesterday, and she said she doesn't believe in love. She said it's not real because you can't.
Hurt.
She said you can't explain love.
Okay.
And well, it might come from a place of her experience, but she was making her point, and it's the way she was coming from. I do believe love is real, but she didn't understand. She was confused between love is an expression. It's not a thing. You can't describe it like it's like da 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 da. But she said
love
in how it appears to you.
Yeah, but I mean, we have to first of all understand, like, when she's talking about love, she's talking about like romantic kind of.
Well, here's the thing. She said our perception of love is from what Hollywood has taught us.
Okay.
So I agreed with her. We are in the clouds. We think love is Jerry Maguire when she comes home. He's like, you complete me. Love is more like you get on my fucking nerves.
I mean,
yeah, that's love. Love is like when your wife looks at you. She doesn't say you complete me. She says you inconvenience me. When I actually think about it. I could be out here with my girls chilling, but I have 2 kids for your dumb ass. But I love you in it, so that's why I'm staying in it. That's what love looks like.
That's what it looks like. Yeah,
it's not pretty like you think it is. It's real.
It's not pretty.
It's uncomfortable sometimes.
The Bible says that if you love those who love you, you haven't achieved anything. But it's when you love your enemies. It's about loving people when they don't deserve it. That's where love is really shown. Love isn't shown when you're doing something nice for someone who does something nice for you.
Or love is not shown when we're screenshotting the expensive meal we're having at the Shard.
Very, very true. You're right.
That's just your moment in time.
Yeah, you're 100% right, bro.
Love is shown when your wife comes home and says, "I've got stage 3 cancer, and I'm gonna have to go through chemotherapy." Are you still in love with me?
And you decide that like you're gonna make sure she feels beautiful while she's
every
losing
single
her
time
hair.
you're gonna look after the kids. You're gonna deal with her mood swings when she's telling you I feel ugly.
Yeah.
When she's accusing you, you're gonna go and fuck someone else, and you're like, I ain't even trying to do that.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to deal with all of that. That's where you're gonna find real love.
100%.
When my friend told me that his wife had cancer, he said, "Funmbi, I realized my wife is a soldier." He said, "Cause me, I'd have been out there crying."
Bro.
He said, "My wife handled business." He fell in love with her all over again.
And to be honest, that's the realest way to put it. You can't really define love until you put it in. The Bible says that your faith is tested in a day of adversity. I think the same goes for love. It's like if your faith faints in the day of adversity, then your faith was small.
Well, they say true character shows when adversity hits.
That's it.
And so if you think about it, when my friend's wife got cancer, I met up with her hair. And she said to me, the first thing she said to me was, I thought my husband was going to leave me. When I found out I got cancer, I thought my husband was going to leave me for another woman.
Wow.
And I remember I was telling my friend that people don't want to struggle. She was like, why we got to struggle? I said, when I say struggle, I don't mean swing low, sweet child.
No,
Master gonna give me a break.
In sickness and in health.
Thank you. What I mean is, life is a struggle.
Yeah.
It was a struggle for me to come here. I was sitting in my yard like this. I got to go to Dalston Junction, nigga. Catch the train to, then I have to walk to all this house. It was a struggle, but you get up and do it.
Yeah.
And I said, that's what life
for
is
the
about.
love.
You do it for the love. And I
Yeah.
said, so when she said that to me, I thought my husband was going to leave me for another woman. What she was saying was, I really hope this nigga's down to struggle.
What she was saying was, I understand the very temporal nature that most people think about love, and I hope that's not what he has.
Well, she was like, she knew there was a struggle ahead.
Yeah, of course, that's what I'm saying. But
knew.
she also understood that most people, when they say I love you,
Right. Well, this is where she's gonna know.
Yeah,
this is where she's gonna know.
This is where you really find out.
This is where she's gonna know what time it really is.
Yeah,
because on the flip side, I have a lot of friends who were married men who weren't good men, and they wounded. You have to pick up so many scars, and because those men went down for us, they weren't here for the struggle.
Yeah.
They weren't here for that. So when you're looking for all these things, make sure you have you need a partner in crime. You need someone in the front seat if you're talking about where they at.
I'm telling you, bro, when you get to the level of intimacy with somebody where you look at them and it's like, nothing you do is gonna stop me from loving you. I'm not leaving you under any circumstances. That's when you actually start doing marriage. All the other stuff before that, like, people are just basically using each other. Like, I love how you make me feel.
Yeah,
and the moment
to
that
hit their
changes,
goals.
Exactly.
Can you imagine putting a picture up saying couple goals?
Bro, and that's the issue. That's the issue right there.
All your goal is to take a nice picture. That's what you said. I want to take a nice picture that looks good, so everyone thinks this is how couples move.
And I always say this, you can tell a lot of couples, there's like a wall right after the wedding where you realize that nobody cares anymore.
I came for your jollof.
Exactly. All the attention is gone.
It's gone.
All the dress is
and
off.
I remember
all the money's been spent. And now you have to like do real life
when
stuff.
we fell out with our friends, you ruined 30 years of friendship for a day. For a day?
Bro.
Just for a day? I was going to be there for the next 30 years. Yeah. That crowd won.
Bro.
When after a wedding, when it's time to clean up, who's always left behind? Your peoples.
Of course.
Your peoples.
Of course.
Not the girls who did the Snapchat filter or the thingy that day. It's your peoples that help you pick up the bins.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
And bro, don't get it
twisted. No one cares about you. No one.
No.
They're the same people that will say, the wedding didn't last. I knew it wasn't going to last because he was looking at the bridesmaid funny that day still. These are the same people that will chat about your struggles. You're spitting the realest facts right now. We do so much for show right now. It's crazy.
Yo, I think, I really do wish more people get there, but it's like most things that we want in life, there's usually like a mental hurdle you have to get over where you realize it's worth the pain, right? So there's a moment you start working out, then it becomes really uncomfortable. You're like, I just want to give up. If you can push past that
You have to
moment,
push past that pain
you
moment.
start getting the gains, you start
getting the
breaking
gains,
through,
you
your
start
body
breaking
starts
through,
changing and so on.
and you
But
become addicted.
But most people are going to fall at that
You
point.
have to break the pain
right?
point, yeah.
Same with like, I want to start a business, and then it gets hard for you, and then blah blah blah.
Absolutely.
But yo, if we could all like persevere, if we all had this concept of long suffering or whatever you want to call it, that pushes past that moment and stays committed, that's when you really start to see outcomes in things. But today, if you talk to someone, you talk to them about being committed, people fight you because they want to preserve their right to leave, right? What point do you stop holding on to your rights and start trying to do what is right? At what point do you stop saying, I'm perfectly entitled to get revenge, do what I want, leave, blah, 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 blah. At what point do you start laying all of that down to achieve something bigger? That's the point where you break through. It's the point where you go, do you know what? Look, if your spouse cheats on you, even in the Bible, you have every right to divorce them. But if you can get to the point where you're like, look, we need some boundaries. This can't be continuing. You've hurt me. We have to get our marriage back on track. And there are some things that I'm going to need to do as well on my side. But this is not my fault. It's not my fault in the sense of like, I made you do this. You have to hold responsibility for your side. I'm going to hold responsibility for my side. Our marriage needs help. This is not about me blaming or cutting you down or shaming you in public or whatever it is. Let's get to the point where we fix this marriage, get back on track, because there's something bigger than how I feel right now. If you can get to that point, oh my goodness, marriage takes off. But most people go, Ola just wants us to accept rubbish, so I'm never doing that. Nah, no man can take me for idiot. And that's how people end up.
But you have to understand, everybody's experience is different. Everybody's background is different. Everybody's what's the word? Baggage that we're holding is so different.
True.
And so it's so funny because infidelity, of course, is one of the biggest drivers. One thing I've noticed is a lot of women really don't it's such a shame because everybody's taught about relationships from rubbish, from books, from Instagram, and it's all. I had a girl say to me, "You know, men don't like to be asked questions," and I just started laughing. I said, "When? Who told you that?"
There's a certain context in which I'd agree with her, but
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Depends how you ask.
Here's the thing. Yeah. This is how I think in it.
Yeah.
You know, women don't like to be asked questions. What's that got to do with me? I have a question I need to ask. I don't care how women feel. If I have a question I need to ask, you're gonna have to answer my question. So she was seeing a guy who was basically dragging her feet, and she wants to say where we're going, but she's afraid to ask that because men don't like to be asked questions. It doesn't make any sense to me because the only way you're gonna figure out where we're going is if you ask a question. It's not that men don't like to be asked questions. Men don't like to answer with the truth. So when I ask you where we're going, you sidestep. It's like, no, because you don't want to tell the truth. Because here's the thing. If everybody was honest, if you say to a girl, hey, listen, this is just a sex thing. I'm not really here to commit to you. Yeah. I find you attractive and I'd like to please you every now and then, but I don't want commitment. That's what he's saying to you.
Yeah.
There ain't no, I'm going to win him over with this pussy. This pussy done saved many lives. There's none of that. He's told you his cards.
But bro,
so you go into that, you have to understand that.
Yeah.
And if that's not what you want as a woman, because this is all it is, what do you want? And what is he saying?
Bro, you don't even realize what you make sense to me.
Right.
You're being incredibly logical right now.
Yeah, but no, I know that. I know feelings cloud everything.
Yes.
But here's the thing. You have to understand actions will speak louder than words. Okay?
Okay.
Don't let someone just tell you, let's see where it's going, or da-da-da-da-da. Be clear. Understand what you're hearing.
But exactly what you're saying is what's contradicting itself. Like, for example, if a guy says, this is just sex, but after the sex, he doesn't ask her to leave. Maybe they snuggle up in the bed afterwards. He kisses her forehead. She's like, do I take his words or his actions? Because the actions are saying a bit more than sex, and so on. Plus her own feelings, how she may already feel, or whether she likes him or she doesn't like him. is going to inform how she takes the entire thing and how much weight she places on what he said. Now, after he's finished holding her hand, he's introduced her to his friends and stuff like that. You know, they started doing
as
they've
what
gone
though?
to, as the homie or whatever it is, just even as the homie. But he's also taken her to a few weddings as his go to and so on. And she's really like spending time with them. She's starting to give her heart. And then he goes, whoa, hold on a second. I told you what this was. At that point, he's been incredibly logical. And he's been correct. He hasn't actually broken it. But in her mind, with the actions, how she feels.
Well, with time spent,
and so
emotions
on.
grow.
Exactly.
He can't wash his hands of that. You played a part in it.
That's my point. So that's what I'm saying. That like it's not even
But
just as simple as what you say.
My point was
it's not even simple as what you do.
No, my
it's
point
not
was
as simple as your intention. It's us like a whole.
No,
bunch
my
of
point
things.
was when you hear that, you have to ask yourself what you want. And if it's you want a relationship and that security of your man coming home to you and whatnot, you don't get involved in that. I don't care how good looking he is. I don't care how you think you can win it over. You don't get involved.
Bruh.
Because what happens is, or what tends to happen is, you go on a ride that eventually you start to ask yourself, where are we going to?
How many times you heard a man and this happens to both
My
men
friend
and
said
women
this to me the other day.
say that like I am cool, like trust me, man's just trying
My
to
friend
smash.
asked me that the other day though. She said, when a man says to you, I don't want a relationship, what should a woman say? And I said, she should ask herself what she wants.
Yeah,
It's got nothing to do with what he wants. It's what do you want?
bruh.
But she got caught up in that,
Yeah,
and he's doing everything you said is what he's doing.
look at life.
She said to me, would you video call the girl with all your boys around in a packed room just to tell you miss her face? So I said, are we fucking? She said yes. I said, oh yeah, then I would do that. She said, oh, would you do another thing, take her this? Yeah, are we smashing? Yeah, I would do that. Because I'm just trying to keep the pussy there. I don't want to disrespect it.
You got that on simmer.
Like, yeah, like you're going on. This is me. Don't get the game twisted. Well, this is me. Well, you thought that meant something because he video called you. He's trying to boost his ego. And then he said to me, I can get sex from any girls I want. This is me. Then why didn't you tell him to go and do that? When a guy says you can get sex with any girls I want, that is a barometer of meaning. What he's trying to say is, I'm not committing. That's the oldest trick in the book. I can get sex from anything. I remember I was watching Boys in the Hood, and there's a scene where they goes, give me your ball. And he didn't want to give him the ball. And he pulls out a bunch of money and said, I got enough money to buy myself 100 balls. My dad, how Nigerians like to comment, we're going to go and buy them. Which is facts.
Yeah.
If you have enough money to buy 100 balls, then go and buy 100 balls. Why do you want mine?
Yeah.
The same thing. If a guy keeps saying to you, I can get sex from anywhere, then go and get it.
Yeah, I don't even understand why dudes are saying that.
Because what they're trying to say is, but I'm not doing that. I want it just with you. I can get girls, but I just try to spend my time with you. That's not a nudge up. That's not a big up. That's a disrespect.
Man.
It's not actually
you're
a
cutting
compliment.
mad game for the sisters right now.
It's
man,
not actually a compliment.
You're right.
It's
you're
not
right.
actually a compliment. He's
You're
not
right.
complimenting you. He's just telling you, I just want to have sex with you. He's not telling you I care about you, or they'll say, but we get along. If you get along with someone and you're cool with someone, the last thing you'd want to do is have sex with them, because sex will complicate that coolness.
Ooh,
So that's not true either.
this cold game right here.
It's true though. You can't, because when I know when you have a female friend, the last thing you want to do is sleep with her. That's the last thing. If it's a genuine, you care about that person, because you're only going to end up hurting them.
I mean, yeah.
Especially if you think you're going to be spending time taking them out, doing things for them, emotions are going to grow.
I mean, for me,
In fact, that is even worse than sleeping with them.
whoa.
Sleeping with them and bouncing makes them realize he's nothing. Coming back and helping them fix the light bulb, that's taking it to you're taking the piss. You're breaching the terms of your contract.
Wow.
As a guy. So if you're going to
you're
be
saying
that
friends
guy,
with benefits doesn't actually exist?
friends with benefits does exist, but it should be friends with benefits. I'll call you when I'm horny. Once I'm finished, once we're done, leave.
Yeah.
Why are you still here?
I ain't about that life, man.
Right.
I'm
But
trying
some
to cuddle
women
afterwards.
some women are about that. Like some women tell guys, yeah, you're done now. Hey, pick me up some Chinese on the way back.
Bruh,
they call an Uber for you. My point is,
nah, that could not
my
be
point
me,
is,
brother.
my point
Nah,
is, you have to
God
be.
forbid.
You know, you have to approach it like a business transaction.
Yeah.
You got to know what we're getting from this discussion.
Don't you think that fundamentally, though, that even when people do this, this is a temporary solution, but deep down, what we want is some kind of real intimacy with another person.
When we go on holiday, what you think this is a solution? It's a disgrace. It's a distraction. This is where I am right now.
Yeah.
I want some dick. What? I'm horny. Man, the last relationship was too much. My career's doing this, and I just need some dick when I'm comfortable. When I'm ready, I'll give myself to someone. Sometimes you don't want the relationship because it's not worth the hassle, and that's just where you are right now.
Okay, but you know, like how, like if when you're thirsty,
When you're horny.
When I'm saying like
When you're thirsty. Okay.
When you're thirsty, your body needs water,
Mm.
and you go, all right, I'm gonna drink Coke.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of how you feel immediately, you're like, yeah, I was thirsty and I drank Coke. But you know how sometimes like you be drinking Coke and it actually makes you thirstier than you were originally because it wasn't what your body needed. Coke is just like something they made in a lab somewhere, and it's sweet and it tingles your mouth, but fundamentally your body actually just needs like water. Don't you think that in the same way that like when you say I'm horny, what your body actually needs is the full intimacy of being with somebody and then being able to express yourself sexually with them, but you go and get the Coke version, which is some random friends with benefits situation, or I just need some dick, or you just reduce it down to the genitalia or the act or the orgasm, and then it eventually does the job of like satisfying the mouth, but leaving the body ultimately still yearning for what it originally asked for.
Yeah, but fuck buddy's not a lifestyle. It's not a
lifestyle?
It's not a future lifestyle. You're not laying down goals here. It's a moment in time. Just like you drink Coke. You can drink water 365 days of the week. One day of Coke is just one day of Coke, is what I'm trying to say. If my body needs water that moment, I drank Coke. That's my body's issue. I wanted Coke. Coke gave me the thrill I needed for that moment. Like on my way here, I needed a sugar rush. So I bought Red Bull. My body might have needed herbal tea. That's my body's business. It got Red Bull. But tomorrow I can now reassess and be like, you know what? Like I got my headphones back today. Yeah. Tomorrow morning, drinking water, going for my 8K walk. But today, hey, I might have just gone and had a whatever.
This damn 8K walk. Why you have to say 8K each time, bruv? Trying to put man to shame out here.
Nah, man. But my point is, I understand what you're saying. But in life, if you think about it, human beings are flawed. We don't always do what's right for us. And what I'm saying to you is this:
8 Mile,
I don't mind if I'm doing what's wrong for me, but what you can't do, what you should always do, is be aware of what you're doing. So if you're in this relationship and this person is not giving you what you want, and you realize this is the situation, the sooner you take a responsibility for that and remove yourself from the equation. And I'm just talking from both angles, even with guys who are in this situation. Eventually, you must know it can't continue.
Yeah, I mean, I think fundamentally, if you both want different things out of life and you're trying to like get what you can,
You're trying to fuck around it.
You're just kicking the can down.
Kicking the can down the road because eventually it's gonna come to a head. Yeah. And what you don't want is to get into a position where what you don't want is to fall into a position where you can't get along no more. Yeah, where it's an issue, where it becomes ugly. So it's again, I don't have the answers because I'm not the person to be like, this is what is doing. All I know is this: if you really want. If it's a relationship and it's serious, hey, things can end, things can go wrong, whatever. But always know, for love to last, there's a struggle, man.
Do you feel like you've ever experienced that intimacy with somebody where it's like, have you ever experienced that unconditional love with someone who's not your family?
Believe in that unconditional love in the R&B sense.
Not R&B.
Because I have for my siblings, yeah.
I'm talking about like struggle, like as in like, have you ever had a girlfriend that it was like, I'm serious about you, and like even if you do this, like I'm still gonna love you.
No. I mean, I have people in my life who I feel that way about, but that is the same love. People seem to think
agape, yeah.
Yeah, when people say there's no real, do you have love for your siblings? That's real love.
Yeah, I know, but here's the thing: it's like at least in terms of the Greek that the Bible's written in, there's like 4 different versions. There's 4 different words for love, right? So they explain a different kind of love. And so, there's storge, which is like familial love. There's filius. No, storge is like a love for an inanimate object or whatever. Filius, which is brotherly love, family love. And then there's eros, which is like erotic love. And then there's agape, which is unconditional love, right? So the idea being that marriage is the only place where you'll experience all 4 of them, right? That's the idea. But with your family, you can have unconditional love and filial, brotherly love. Then, in certain circumstances, you might not know somebody, but you just choose to forgive them, and that might be an example of agape love or whatever. All I'm saying is that in the process, in all of those versions of love, right, there's a way to experience it. Agape, we need more and more of that everywhere. We need more and more people to love people even whilst they are messing up. We all need to be loved while we're messing up. But in terms of having all of those with one person, is that not ultimately the aim? That
No.
I can find somebody that will love me unconditionally. I can also love erotically. I can also love like a family member. I can experience the whole thing.
No.
Why?
The aim is to love. The aim is to find a partner that you love, and you every day is a different day, but you love. You try it. Sometimes it's just mad. Who knows? But the base of it is just love, and that's it. That's all I know. The rest is just sound bites. All I know is my parents got together because they loved each other. Yeah. My dad saw my mom. Nigerians don't do much in terms of courting, and you see the 80th birthday speech. Yeah. I saw her in the church service. I was a youth member then, and I saw a young lady walked in, and I said, this must be the one.
Bro, you got the whole cadence, bro.
So we courted for 2-3 months. We spoke, and I said, yes, I want to marry you. Yeah. And she said yes, and then 30 years later, we are friends now. And it was and we laugh at the whole, but it's that simple for him. He saw someone he loved, and he said,
but he didn't have Instagram back then.
You might say that he ain't have Instagram back then, whatever. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, he took the steps to continue to love her.
Of course, yes.
I've saw my parents, my dad would be in the toilet.
But they had to love each other, like family. They had to love each other erotically in order to have kids.
Kids, right?
And they had to love each other unconditionally to get through the problems.
I've seen my parents go through everything. In terms of it was a lot, but they loved their kids. Yeah. I don't think at the times they were loving each other the way agape was, or Phileas or Morpheus, or the whole Matrix plan. I don't know if it was all of that at every single time. Sometimes I think it was difficult for both of them to love each other, but they had a reason to stay, which was their children.
Where did they meet?
In Nigeria.
Okay.
And my dad was a rude boy. My mum was more of a go to school and be smart. Yeah. But she had the bad boy attraction. Of course. However, now today, I call my dad. I call my mom. My dad's like, why are you calling my wife? Yeah. They made it out the other side. Yeah. If you sit there and see them today, you be like, oh, your parents. You say couple goals. Ask my mom. The last few, like, there was no couple goals. This man's an idiot. That's what she will tell you. My goodness. Because there was a lot of fight there. Yeah. But they had to survive and struggle. And now they're reaping the benefits of, like you said, pushing through that. Yeah. Now I understand. So that's why when it's like Tupac said, and that's the problem we all have. There's no examples left. The examples are literally online. Like Tupac said in Happy Home. He said, maybe in time I'll be a better man. Watching the older couples handle it like veterans. He didn't say watching Oprah. He didn't say watching Red Tables. He said watching the older couples because they've been there and they've done that. And they can tell you, don't worry. This is how it happens. This is how it does. My dad said to me, when your wife is getting on your nerves, make sure you have one shirt in your wardrobe that you like. You put on that shirt, you just leave. When you come back, she has calmed down. You can now talk. Now, that's not going to work for everybody, but that was him.
I'm trying to work out what the significance of that one shirt is.
It's just him saying, make sure you have something to go to. Make sure you have a reference. Okay. So there we go. She yelling at me again. Where my shirt at?
The old heads be having that wisdom.
And so And so we
I
don't
need that
peep
one
game.
shirt, you know.
Right. Is it a TM Lewin?
You're gonna be at Jose Curtis, like,
You know,
what up?
Black gonna take first. It starts as a basic shirt. Now it's got to be the Gucci with the. I leave my house with my Gucci shirt and my nails. You know, but what I'm saying is, I'm fortunate to have an old head pass that to me to give me that wisdom, so I don't have to look outside and confuse myself with so many variants of what I'm looking for.
Okay.
I can go to the source and say, hey, this is what's going on. But I'm not married. My brothers are married, and I see the examples of my father and my mother and how they do better with their wives.
Okay.
My sister's married to her husband. I see how she honors the traditional concept of, you know, the marriage. Your husband is the head of the home, while still maintaining her feisty British. I said to my sister one time, "Do you and D argue? Because I never seen them argue." She goes, "Yeah, every day. It's me every day.
Golly.
I've never seen you argue." She said, "You just won't." This is her. Why'd you argue? This is her because he's annoying. And this is me. Oh, you lot love each other, man. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. She said, "Because he's annoying."
Yeah, I mean that's I think that's normal to find someone.
But you know what, Ola? We don't want to fall in love with that. We want to blame that as why he's not good or why she's not good.
Yeah, and I think we said this on the last ep about, you know, being able to be good while you're up and be good while you're down. You need to, like, and what we don't discuss sometimes is the fact that some people don't know how to do well together, right? So some people want to be together when everything's going good, right? But when it now drops off, now they want to leave. It's not good. They're not enjoying it. Some people have done so much butting heads and struggling with each other. They don't know what it's like to actually just live in peace. They don't know. They've done so much struggle financially. They don't know what to do when money comes. Do you know what I'm saying?
Becomes a comfort.
What's that, sorry?
Chaos becomes the comfort.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that, like, learning to abase and abound, learning to be good while it's good and be good while it's bad, like, that's the real struggle. That learning how to be happy regardless of how much money is in your account, regardless of how much sex you're having, regardless of how much much weight your partner's carrying or whatever it is. If you can be happy regardless of these situations, then you now stop attaching yourself to all of these situations such that your emotions are all over the place, because, you know, while it's up, you're up. When it's down, you're down. You can be up regardless.
But you know the maddest thing? The things we describe when we are in genuine love, or the poems we read, they never describe it in the things we look for, you know? Love for me is like when you bring home your 6-figure check and pay the down payment on the new house in Malibu. No one ever quotes that. It's always like we've got love like Mondays off and slipping into old slippers on Sunday morning. And you're like, oh, I know that feeling.
Yeah, but that's that poetry. We got rhythmic American poetry, which very clearly makes it about these things.
Like what?
What you ain't heard no rap songs where it's talking about.
Rap is not poetry. Rap is rap.
When I said rhythmic American poetry,
rhythmic American, you're such an idiot. Rap is rap. Rap is rap. But here's the thing. It's so funny. Again, I'm not even trying to overquote Tupac today, but I was watching a clip and he said, "You don't want to take me out the game." He said, "Because if you take me out the game, you don't want to see the guy coming behind me, because he will have no compassion." My brother was playing a song the other day, and it was one of them ones. He goes, "Oh, that wolfing in the club, nigga, I thought you was a thug." And it was just, you know, I'm gonna pull up in your house, and I said to my brother, "Rah, these niggas ain't got no keep your head up, or they ain't got no dear mamas right now."
Nah, there's no dear mamas, no keep your head up. Nah, I ain't got nothing but love for you.
Not nine. No, you know, Black Coffee, no shit ain't nine like that. It's straight, I'ma cut a bitch hoe in his face if he call me. You're like, damn. Like, niggas is pulling up to parties, kidnapping families.
They didn't even do the fake gospel album no more.
Nothing. Ain't no prayers on the album no more. I probably know I sin. I'm confused. I'm always in the club, but I want your love. None of that. None of that. It's straight popping out here.
Yo, for real.
And that's what Tupac was trying to say. You
was trying to warn us. Like,
you take me out. I said to my brother, well, ain't no keep your heads up left.
That's hilarious.
Bruv.
That's hilarious. We lost all the keep your head up.
These niggas ain't got no perspective.
Bruh.
It's just straight what you say. I'm woofing in the cutting in the house, nigga. She wanna trap because I'm trapping on the mouse. You're like,
I'm trapping on the mouse.
You're like, okay. And the mad thing, the hook was so fire. Listen, all that woofing in the club, nigga. I thought you was a thug. I was like, yeah, I thought you was a thug for real. And and that's another thing that got a lot of young black boys in trouble because the music was relatable because we lived in the communities. But some of us were playing these songs on our way to church.
Facts.
So now you're embodying this character.
Now you woofing in the church, nigga.
Nigga, pull up on me. I draw my 9. You ain't seen a 9 in your life, but you're carrying that bravado, that persona. When you come amongst real man, now you're trying to be somebody you're not, and so it's crazy. And again, I'm not even trying to knock the music because I enjoy it, but I get what Pac was saying is like the next guy behind me is not gonna be like, "Holla if you hear me." He's gonna be like, "I'm coming in your yard if you don't listen."
Picking the lock,
coming
through,
blasting. So it was interesting to and it's like that's why drill and the grime scene. Those people are important because they actually take the music, documenting what's going on through the music actually helps create awareness about it, and also people to want to to say, okay, what can we do to change these things? Vilifying those people for stating the facts that you put in the newspapers anyway is just counterproductive. Yeah,
I don't 100% agree with that. I think there's a way when hip hop started, like there was this transition. At the beginning it was like hip hop, hippity hip to the hip hop, and then people started talking real stuff, right? But there was always I'm not going to say always, but I felt like at first when they started telling stories about what was going on in the hood, it was clear that this was reporting. Now the guys doing it are telling you this is what I did.
Oh,
and it's dope.
I meant that version, not this version. I meant this. I mean, so when I say drill, for instance, drill is the reason why people fuck with it is because it's so real. It's so real.
That's the reason why I think a lot of people discuss it. But I like any drill song I like is because I think that flow is nuts, and I think the beats are nuts.
The flow is nuts.
Yeah,
the flows are always nuts.
The flow is nuts, and so let's give that its due, right? Like artistically, there's merit in it because we enjoy listening to it. But the part that really makes me not want to listen to it is the fact that I'm hearing guys talking about real crimes that have been committed, real people that have been killed. They're talking about like, oh, I watched him bleed out and he was crying for his mum. That part, I don't want any part of that.
But you watch crime documentaries on Thingy all the time.
Yeah, I watch crime documentaries because I like to see them get solved. I like to see those crimes get solved.
None of them get solved.
I know. I don't like those ones.
I don't like those ones either,
Bro.
They don't get solved. I don't like it when they don't get a fair time either.
Bro, I like the peace that comes with knowing how the forensics came together, how the detective put this and this together, and they solved it. Good wins at the end of the day, but you get to see a glimpse of true evil.
I also don't like it when they solve it because the antagonist made a sloppy error. I don't like that.
Yeah, those ones are.
It's like, my nigga, you could come on, man. You gonna leave the knife on the floor?
No, not those ones. I'm talking about the ones where it's like
it's deep.
Yeah, it's deep. Like they went deep in.
Like you thought it was the postman. Like, oh shit.
Just the other day they caught this rapper Pooh Shiesty. You heard about this?
No.
There's a rapper called Pooh Shiesty. Anyway,
they should have arrested him a long time ago.
Nah, bro, for the name alone. Dude pulled up in a Lamborghini for an armed robbery. No, to pull up on some other dude. And they robbed the dude, right? Whilst robbing the dude, they were in a Lambo. They drove off in a Lambo. They had masks on and whatnot. But a bag of money fell out from an armed robbery that had been done 2 days ago. They found the bag, pulled it out, the money in it, and matched the serial number on the notes to one of his Instagram posts where he was holding up the money.
Wow.
And that's how they arrested him.
Wow.
Bro, I was reading this like, damn.
There was one I watched and
was interesting to me.
There was one I watched, a woman was raped and killed.
Oh wow.
And they walked into the flat, into the house, and they're trying to figure out what happened here. And they're just, canvassing the neighborhood. They got a couple, it's called Unusual Suspect. They got a few suspects and they all lead to dead ends. And it was one of the best people they questioned before, because it always happened. It was the neighbor.
Nuts.
Honestly. And they questioned him before. But because they had someone, they said, let's just go back to see who we spoke to, see if we can shed more light. And as they spoke to him, he kind of gave something away or was a bit too inner. Yeah. And then they just were able to just zero on him more. And they found that it was him. It's just, man, it's like, I would never, because when I was watching, I was like, oh my God.
Mad.
And the only reason he killed her was because she saw his face. And so she knew he would be able to work. And he had a wife and kid as well.
Yeah, those ones are nuts.
I've seen so many of them where it's just like, man, that's cold.
One of the ones that, I was telling you about this Nigerian guy.
Yeah.
He's profiling because it happened recently. So he actually just made a video about that one. He does some of the old crimes in Nigeria as well. But this one in particular, it happened recently. It's basically he's a sugar daddy. And this young girl stabs him in the neck.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that one.
And she said that he tried
CEO
to force
TV
her.
guy.
Yeah, he's CEO of a TV station. She stabs him in the neck because she said he tried to force himself onto her, that they were just friends, and he tried to force. But also she took his card, and basically withdrew 5 million naira. She claims that was just for her school fees.
She withdrew 5 million naira.
Yeah.
You can withdraw 5 million from a cash point.
I mean, over a period of time, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was all in one go. But she withdrew 5 million naira, and
you can't withdraw 5 million naira over a period of time.
Pardon?
You can't withdraw 5 million over a period of time. The bank won't allow that. 5 million is a lot of money. They're not going to just have you take out 5 million.
I don't know how she did that.
Nigerians can bubble. You know what bubble means?
But I mean, this is on the news as far as, and she claimed, and she says she took that money.
Okay. I mean, I don't know how they say she took it, but you just can't.
Yeah.
5 million to get 10,000 out of your account. They're going to ask questions.
Come on now, 10K comes out easy, man.
No, I mean in this. Yeah, but 5 million is how much in pounds?
Oh, 5 million, I guess.
Although £1 is 750 naira now.
Yeah, bro, it's nuts right now.
But you know the beauty of it though. God is going to change Nigeria.
Don't say it like that.
No, he is. As long as we keep praying, giving money to the church, and just hoping
Nah,
that one
don't
day
say it like
everything
that, bro.
will change. God is going to do it.
Bro,
Keep
right
fasting
now,
and praying, Nigerians.
I'm making my money in pounds.
That's how it's going to happen.
buy
£1,
land.
750. See, £1. When there's money on this, when there's blood on the streets, make money.
Bro, at all times make money, bro. When the market's up, when the market's down.
No time. When the £1 is 750 naira, yeah, make money.
Yeah, man.
You know, yeah, that the fact that £1 is 750 naira means, yeah, the day in the West decide to kill Nigeria, there's nothing we can do about it. All we can hope is the entire world is humane enough to say, no, this is wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. To be honest, yeah, that whole currency situation is just a damn shame. But I didn't want to get too deep into that. I think fundamentally in that story, what was really interesting to me is the fact that, so the general consensus amongst people is that she was sleeping with him, she conspired with somebody, maybe she's got a boyfriend already or whatever it is, and the plan is to lure this guy alone, kill him, get his card, get the money, and escape, right? And that she's had to do this whole thing, this whole story, just because she got caught, and just so happens he's very high profile and so on. In all of this, what it awakes is this huge moralism, right? So you get people who are like, oh my goodness, society's absolutely torn apart. Look at what's happening right now. This is adultery. This is prostitution. This is murder. This is theft. And bro, some people are commenting things like, Omo, sugar daddy, where everybody they enjoy. When your turn, you can't kill them. People are saying basically that this was everybody's sugar daddy. He was for the streets. He was for everybody to enjoy. Now you got to your turn, you killed him. This is the same murder we're talking about, And within that same country, you got two such widely opposing approaches to the exact same thing.
My dad said one thing to me when I was a kid in Nigeria. And he said, this is Nigeria in a nutshell. Iluti osofin koseshe. Yeah. Which means in a country where there's no sin, in a country where there's no law, there's no sin.
Bruh.
So no one's done anything wrong here. You know why? Because when you break it down to its bare minimums, the frightening thing is you be like this is Nigeria. He's a sugar daddy. Is he not married?
Yeah.
Has he not got children?
Yeah.
And he's fucking a babe from Unilag.
Of course.
Because why? Nigerian men can have side chicks. His wife knows that. His money affords him that. Check his money. What? CEO of what? the TV station.
Yeah.
TV will I want Niger. You know, he's living the life.
Yeah.
You know, and so you're saying the moral issue of this, there is not moral. There is no moral issue because there is no morality in Nigeria. You can't find morals in a place where there's no morality. It's like going into a porno shop and looking for a Bible.
But come on, man.
Going to an adult store. Y'all got going to the adult store. Y'all got the King James version. I don't want that revised. Showing the King James version. That's how bad Nigeria is. I mean, you're telling me you don't believe. I just told you the pound is 759. You're telling me that's not how bad Nigeria is. What are you talking about? It's a joke.
That murder is just like a casual thing now.
What?
Come on.
What? They found £1 billion in a nigga's drawers. You're surprised someone's gonna kill? They found £1 billion in someone's garden. He's talking about I grow trees.
I can't remember. There was like one exam board where they lost, but obviously they siphoned off a bunch of money. And they said a snake came in and ate it.
Or you want one better? Your president comes to the UK for medical treatment. Yo. Let me paint the picture for you. Can you imagine if we found out that Boris Johnson went to Scotland to get Panadol? Do you know what they'll do to him?
But he's Prime Minister of Scotland.
Boris Johnson
as well.
goes to. He's not Prime Minister of Scotland.
He's Prime Minister of the UK. So
don't they have their own Prime Minister though?
They have their First Minister.
Oh, their First Minister.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a side
But
thing.
he's Prime Minister.
Okay, what I mean is, imagine if Boris went to Spain.
Yeah.
To get Panadol, to get treatment for his leg. They'd be like this. Oh, you going to Spain to get treatment for your leg?
Bro.
What is wrong with the NHS?
For a long time, we had to use Umbro as our shirt maker.
Right.
Just because it was the only British.
Because they understand, if I go to another country to go and get medical treatment and come back and say, believe in the NHS, it's going to be done by the wicked.
Of course.
They understand that.
Of course.
So when you have a president who can't understand that simple, I'm going to the UK to maintain my health. Meanwhile, your people are dying. Case in point. So you see that man, the CEO, who she stabbed to death. Where did they go and put him in the hospital with his? Did they take him to Atlanta to go and do his corpse, to do his autopsy, or did they fly him to Copenhagen? For the coroner's report.
Man, you gonna end up in.
You're gonna end up in a Jigun morgue.
Yeah.
What I'm saying to you, Ola, is when I see stories like that in Nigeria, what can I say?
Bruh.
What am I supposed to be surprised?
I think
you know that young girl.
I think perception is partly the problem.
That young girl
Yeah.
who stabbed him.
Yeah.
For some girls in Nigeria, that's how they make their living. You need like university babes dating sugar daddies because they pay for their tuition.
I know that.
So there's a bigger sinister play. There's a sinister thing at play here. In fact, if you look at it from a sinister position, the moment he jumped into that sugar daddy mode, he was a dead man. It's true though. What do you think is gonna happen here?
But then you just carry out the arrangement that you
say that, but scandal's a motherfucker. Look at rich men. Most rich men
in the world. To be honest, what you have to ask is, if she was about to jeopardize his business, for example, would he have had her killed? Which is probably.
Well, if she said to him, "I'm going to expose you or tell your wife about they'll have her dumped in the river." But my point is, look at most powerful rich men in the world. What is their biggest downfall?
Man,
it's always women. It's always women. When you hear a rich husband was stabbed to death 45 times by his maid, you're like, what did he do to the maid? Oh, he was piping the maid. I see. That's what happened. So I'm not saying that it's not sad this man was killed, but when you look at Nigeria as a country, these are the things you're going to be seeing when you allow sugar daddies to date university campus girls and muscle them in because you know you have the money to pay to make their life convenient. Rather than you use that money to fucking fund the school, fucking fund roads, fucking get people to look at that country and actually use their things, you're fucking pussy on the campus. That's what you chose to do. That's his business.
True.
He had money, man. And all he wanted to do was sugar daddy. Fuck that, man. That's the standard. That's Nigeria for you. That's the mentality we have. Sugar zaddy. It's bullshit, man. So I don't feel sorry for him. And I'm sorry for the passion outburst. It's just, come on, man. It's bullshit, man.
No, I to be honest, now I know your position on it. I understand why you're upset about it because I didn't make that connection. I treated it in isolation as just like a crime issue, but it's a wider societal issue because you're right. A lot of girls on the campus are kind of, part-time studying, part-time trying to
Bro,
fund
when
the
I went to do a
lifestyle.
show in Nigeria, they brought campus girls back to the hotel for me. Said, "Funmbi, pick one."
My goodness.
I was like, I can't. I don't get hard like that. I got to know you a little bit. We got to do a little slow dance, couple Henny, couple drinks. I just couldn't jump in the bed with her like that. It just didn't feel right. But she was ready because she was going to get paid.
My goodness. That's wild.
Right. And by the way, I was in the club there with big ballers in Nigeria because they flew me out from London for a good show. Yeah. So we got to the club. Girls were everywhere. And they were like, all these guys are university babes looking for one rich guy tonight.
Yeah, to be honest,
and by the way, when I say the men that brought these girls home, I'm not talking Usher, Genuine, and Devante. I'm talking their uncles. Niggas with pot bellies.
Yeah, man. That whole
flexing
setup is nuts.
So in fact, I'm on the girls' side because it's whatever, man. It's whatever. Them Nigerian girls who have to deal with that shit, they're clued on like that, cause it's fast out there. They ain't got time, man. And that's facts. And so whatever, dog. This is a story for Nigeria to enjoy, but it highlights a serious problem with that country, man. We're in trouble, bro. Like, you realize that country's rotting.
Oh man, that wasn't the angle that I thought of at first, but you're right.
Because we always love a scandal. It's time for Nigeria to talk about Nigeria. This is the problem in Nigeria. But when I just put it to you like that man had money and look what he chose to do with it. And I'm not saying you can't spend your money on hoes or whatever it was you want. But when you live in a country like Nigeria where people are genuinely suffering, and I'm not saying it's your responsibility to feed people, but you're in a position where you have money to make a difference. And of course, they're going to realize what he did for Lekki, what he did for Chairman Governor. He was at Babadola today's birthday. I don't give a damn about that.
But it goes back to what I was saying before about, like, at what point do you put aside what your rights are to do what's right? At what point do you start saying, like, I'm entitled to spend my money how I want, and start going, do you know what? I could do this with my money. I'd be, within this setup, I could definitely do that. But that's not the right thing to do. And that's usually when progress starts to happen. But,
imagine you just said to me, the people's perception was, you just ruined the sugar daddy game. But it's the same thing, though. Me too, I go enter government because me too, I want chop. Remember when we asked that woman, would you rather $1 billion naira or the whole of Nigeria have like, listen, give me 1 million, I'm okay. Yeah. It's because myself, I want to enjoy.
Yeah. You get some people, you know
what I mean? Yeah. That's her mentality. I can't fault her for that. One girl said, I will relocate my entire family. Canada is calling my name. Canada.
It's up.
Canada.
Yeah. Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah, that kind of.
And we're in London like this. Canada, nigga. You ever been to Seychelles?
Nah, they want the economic prosperity. They want the.
And by the way, you go to Canada, they're gonna get the bare minimums, and that's just enough for them.
Of course. And to be honest, you're right. It's dire times. It is sad, but also like, I don't know. There's something in me that just kind of says you can't treat it that way, even if it is. If you treat it that way, you just continue that spiral. You see what I'm saying? So it's like if a child is being bad, right, and you say you're a bad child, that doesn't make them better. They just go, well, I'm a bad child, and they double down on it, right? But if you say, no, I believe there's goodness in you, you're just misbehaving at the moment, then at least there's hope for the child to think maybe one day that, like, no, this isn't who I need to be. I think that's the way I treat with Nigeria, is that, like, I'm hyper aware. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was there, like, just last month, hyper aware of problems in this country. But I'm just like, I still need to say something from a positive angle, because, do you know how dire it is to just, if we treat Nigeria the way it is, and we just go, do you know what? It's failed state, terrible, clearly poor leadership, no hope, and you write it off, then I think we then have to switch the language for how black people get treated in the UK to thank you for letting us stay here.
Right. They're not related.
I think they are.
How?
I think they're related in the sense that for
They didn't let us be here.
wait, let me get there. In this country, most of us have come to this country in terms of the original sort of entry, have come here for opportunity, right? They're obviously taking resources from there and using it to build up this place, but this is a place of opportunity, right?
This is what they told you, yeah.
Right.
Opportunity to clean.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, right, put aside the resources right now. What they did with those funds was to create stuff that works, right? Those powers, the British authorities at the time, right? They used that to create something that works, that allows us to, have for me to have this home, for me to have access to clean running water that I can drink out the tap, and I can have electricity and blah, blah, all these things, right? Now, if you are, if where you're coming from, when given the opportunity, uses it to do sugar babe, right? And you don't have these simple amenities and you watch the country fall apart more and more. And there's another country that, yes, took a lot of your resources, but did the right thing with them. And now, because of that immigration, you're allowed to be here and they give you the passport and so on. Then, as far as I'm concerned, you now have to be grateful.
I didn't swim here, bro.
Oh, you didn't swim here.
Yeah, so I don't have that feeling.
I get that because
Right.
you were
I was
born
born
here,
into
but
the
you
system,
know
yeah.
how you were born in this country, right?
I know my parents came over here, yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, I don't feel that allegiance.
But here's my
I don't
point.
feel thankful for being born in England because I was born in England.
But
I didn't know any different.
But here's where I'm coming at it from. I've always been of the mindset that, like, when we're in this country, we know the deal, right? Here's the deal. I'm gonna love you like you're like a stepchild. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get a chance to live in the country. You're in the boys' quarters. You're in the compound, not the main house. But you do have a home. As somebody who has a Nigerian passport and a British passport, I have Nigeria to go to,
As
right?
an option.
As an option.
But you have the whole world to go to as an option.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Depending on what the visa laws are and so on. But I have two places where I'm deemed a citizen. Right. Now, if one of them is so bad that I'm willing to take whatever they do here, then now I have to switch my mentality and go, do you know what? This ain't right, but it's okay.
If you want to. It's not a collective thing. That's your decision.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you that's how I start to look at it now, because I never want to get to the point where I believe that where I'm coming from is such a bad option.
You've never given up on Nigeria, because how long have you lived in that system to actually even try anything?
I haven't.
That's what I'm telling you why I need to
maintain some hope.
But here's the thing: they've given up on Nigeria. They've given up. It's not about they have given up. Everybody benefits from Nigeria being the way it is. The church, the government, the athletes, the white people, the people from diaspora. We benefit. If I go to Nigeria now, because of the way I sound, I will be pushed forward further than the person who actually stayed there. In fact, most Nigerians will look to me because I sound English. Our whole DNA is fucked up. And so the problem isn't because we're not trying or because it's because if you look from the foundation of that nation, it's built on Christ the solid ground I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. That's what they say, right? Build your foundation on Christ so it can be solid. Nigeria was not built on a solid foundation. It was built on sinking sand.
Yeah.
So no matter what you put on top of it, it's going to sink because the foundation was never pure. And so we're running around in circles, telling ourselves different things. And I don't blame anybody. I'm not mad at the people because I believe in the people. I wish they could have better because I grew up in Nigeria. It's beautiful people, a generation of people that are excelling outside of that continent. Most of my classmates are in England. Mad. Ain't no 24-year reunion. Everybody has to phone. I did Australia. I did Singapore. I don't go feel land for thingy. And we, like I said on the last podcast, we said Nigeria they carry last, bruh. The way we've been carrying last. But we've been carrying last so long, we don't even know we're carrying last. That's what we said. Nigeria they carry last because we don't even know we're carrying it.
Bro.
Look, if England win this Euros, you won't be able to sleep. If England, they will all be knighted. They'll be with the Queen. They'll have interviews for the next 10 years. They're all set for making this nation that proud. But we can't seem to figure out anything. Like we said last week, to the point now where you're saying we should be thankful that they let us come and live in council flats.
I don't mean
no,
that
no,
directly.
I know. But that is the truth.
But I'm saying if we get to the point where we've given up on our home, then you should be thankful.
I don't think we have given up on our home. Subconsciously, we have given up on Nigeria because everybody says I want to chop my own. People are. It's a mad hustle. When you go to Nigeria, there's some of those things where you have to do things here, grease so many palms and so many things. And I'm not mad at those people because this is what happens. When you neglect something for so long, you're going to get a serious reaction to it. You know, 2% are coming for the door, blasting. These guys have broken the door. They have killed everybody in the room, and there's still no food left.
Bruh.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It's real in the field. Don't let the whiz kids and the Afro beats and the shoki shaku and the hey. Don't get me wrong. Those are beautiful. But don't let it fool you. It's real in the field. Yeah,
I know. When it comes down to it, it's real because there are many problems, and I can see them. I feel it while I'm there. Like I'm not under any illusion that like it's, you know, like how sometimes you can sit in the UK and be like, oh, Nigeria's amazing, you know, like, oh, it's just so much fun. And when your house help just goes and gets you stuff, and like, bro, you do realize like the fact that you're even saying house help means you're enjoying a very select life. I get all of that, 100%. Even with that, I still have to believe that there is more for Nigeria. Like, you know, when you were saying, but don't worry, because God's going to save Nigeria, or, you know, but that sarcasm, the reason why I was like, no, it's not because I don't understand the sarcasm or like the sort of, I'm not also cynical about the way some people just kind of go, oh yeah, God will fix it. It's because I have to believe. It's a big part of my worldview, my sense of self and identity, my understanding of things. I have to believe that Nigeria has the potential.
Do you know the moment,
and could be great?
Do you know the moment you accept in life that one day you're going to die, you get to move? I'm going to die one day.
Mm-hmm.
It's just life. We're all going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's a lot of the things that hold us as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
We have to believe in something that's core to us.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you know,
yeah.
If someone said to a Beyonce fan that she's a crackhead, she's ready to fight you, man.
Yeah.
You're going to have to bring her proof. And even then, that's not real pipe. Because if you take that away, who the hell am I?
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So I had to believe that one day racism would go and would all sing Kumbaya and hold hands. But the moment I understood, no matter what I do as a black person, I'm always going to be treated different because of the color of my skin.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to move freely.
Yeah.
Because it's now not about anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
It's about what God put me here for.
Mm.
And I say that to say, the moment you understand that Nigeria is not going to change because we believe it to, it's only going to change if you take action.
Yes.
That's the only way it's going to change.
Yep.
And unfortunately, the way that country is, a revolutionary Nigeria is almost like seeing bodies being piled up in the streets, because it's that power is unique. You know, you're not going to take away the food of a man or the plate of a man who flies to UK for his health benefits and tell him now you have to go to Kiriki. He's not going to give that up willingly.
Yeah.
None of them are. One man said you're dealing with, remember SARS? You're dealing with
old warriors.
old warriors
Yeah.
who know how to get down and dirty.
Mm.
And that's the problem. This is war. For Nigeria to change, it's a war. When England and all these countries wanted to change, they fought. They had to break it. Because you can't just say, well, shake on it. You got to kill them people. That's why they call it when the slaves broke through. They fought. How you gonna get out? By asking? Hell no. All of the revolutions in this world, the Black Panthers, when they had to fight. So the idea that Nigeria is going to change through prayer or belief is what I'm not comfortable with, because it won't.
Yeah, I don't mean belief in and of itself. I mean, the belief is what keeps me willing to act. Like when I mean
Okay.
act in terms of like, why would I ever go there? Why would I ever think about maybe having a house there, or taking my children there, or giving my
Well,
children
I was
Nigerian
talking about
names
this
or
at a
whatever it
barbecue
is?
last week.
But I still give them Yoruba names, and I still go to Nigeria, and I still want my children to go to Nigeria, and I still want to have a house there because of the underlying belief that there's heritage here that is worth something to pass on to my children. If I didn't believe that, I would just give them English sounding names. I'd probably change our family name. I would say, do you know what? We're going all in on England, and we're going to I'm trying to give you the best position possible here. And that's where my point I was trying to make, that like, if you give up on home, you kind of
Well,
have to
I'm not
switch to
saying.
thank you for letting
I'm
me
not
be
saying
here.
when I highlighted those things, it's not for people to give up. It's for people to understand how real it is. Let's not cover this with the same way they treat the black movement. Let's not cover with Nike gave the hood 40 million. Nike has given the black community $40 million. And we post that and say, yay. What the hell does that even mean? Did you ask which black neighborhood? How is the money going to be distributed? Did you realize that Nike gave the black community $40 million? They made another $350 million from it the next day? What are you doing? We can't just keep covering these things if it will get better.
Yeah.
Real questions have to be asked. And that's what we were trying to do with Waiting Day. We weren't just trying to make a show that glossed things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, in this country, I went to a show last week on Saturday. And it was, when I walked in, I thought it was an England type of venue. I think I spoke about this last week. And they were a lovely crowd. Actually, I know it was this last week Saturday. Was this last Saturday I went to Billericay?
Billericay.
It was Billericay.
Even the name of the place just sounds...
Billericay. It was Billericay.
Sounds like Billericay.
And I walked in, it was like... I spoke about it last week. It was me and Ava. I spoke about it on Monday.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, because I came on Tuesday. It was me and Ava. And when I came off, it was like... When I heard you in Nigeria, I thought you were going to be, I thought you were going to email me and ask for me for $1 million. And I laughed like I'd never heard that before. I even said to him, here's my card. I think you should start doing fives very soon. My point being, his only point of reference, Ola, is fucking emails.
Yeah. The email
Do you realize
scams.
that? You see those email scans? I 100% guarantee you, it's not even most Nigerians doing it.
At this point, come
It's
on,
probably
man.
some Polish niggas, anybody in a cafe next door.
I saw one like expose on it, like where it was like CNN and so on, and they were tracking down some of these guys that had sent the emails, right? They routed IP addresses, they did all kinds of investigation. And I think in this case, some of them were in Nigeria, but they said that tracing some of them, they found them all over West Africa, and some of them not even in Africa at all.
Yeah, of course, because this is fraud. Look at it like this. I look at it like this. I'm not mad at greed. I'm not mad at corruption. I'm not mad at Hancock. Get your freak on, dog. I know how it be sometimes. You're a famous politician. You got some good looks. They be throwing the pom-pom at you. I know how it is.
I said on stage, I said when he resigned, I was freestyling off the dome.
When was this?
This was on Saturday.
Where?
Bristol.
Respect, bro. You back in the game?
Yeah. I'm back on stage. Bro. I
How does
did
it feel?
Vauxhall on Friday.
How does it feel?
Bristol. Bro, it felt.
Did you get
good,
the boner
know?
when you were on there?
I got the boner.
Hey!
Bro.
You're like, nigga still got it or what?
No, I was like, nah, I could still do this.
Yeah, fam.
I said, sometimes like we need to put this in perspective. Like, we ain't never been through a global pandemic before. You don't know what it takes to get through. You know what I'm saying? If you're the health secretary doing a global pandemic, maybe you might just need to feel on some butt to get the inspiration necessary to go it. And yes, okay, you might, break up your marriage, but you might also save the nation. Sometimes you just have to weigh it up. Yeah, I did that, and everyone burst out laughing when I did the hands.
Way up!
I was
Here's
like,
the
yeah,
maddest thing.
that's good.
It's like when Tiger Woods had an affair,
Yeah.
and he had to apologize. And Reginald D. Hunter did a joke on the pod. It was like, "Our young kids gonna like, man, fuck Tiger Woods, man. Not listen to that. He's into pussy now." Like, is that what's really happening right now?
Nah, man.
And what I want everybody to and here's the thing. Like I said, I'm not mad at any of this.
Yeah.
Listen, when I heard how Pornhub was made, it changed my whole perception on life.
How was it made?
basically the internet, right?
Yeah.
And porn is on the internet. This guy used to sell, take credit card numbers and sell free porn thingy. You know, back there you have to pay for porn.
Yeah.
So he used to just basically sell it to people
Okay.
at a cheap price.
Yeah.
They say he was just doing it because it was an easy hustle. Then he clocked. So many people want this. Boom, he started doing research on how do you do, what other porn sites are out there, how does it all work? And it was, at this point, it was all disjointed because it was new. He just managed to consolidate all the porn sites. So you know when you Pornhub is probably owns YouPorn and all the rest of those sites.
Yeah.
But they just make theirs the big one and say, oh, these other ones, so that everyone's watching us.
Yeah.
He traced I think the original porn site was, I think it was Free Ones. I think it was that one. He traced the ownership to a family in Vancouver. You know what I just said there?
He traced the ownership.
People who owned the Free Ones company
Family.
were a family in Vancouver.
Wow.
He said they didn't even look like they liked porn,
My goodness.
but they're the company behind it. He gets into business with them, starts working with them, learns the ropes, comes up with the idea for Pornhub and that, a free porn streaming site.
Yeah.
Right? Comes up with the idea, buys a few, realizes how he's going to do it, goes to a hedge fund family to get a loan. Guess how much they gave him?
How much?
$344 million.
No flipping way. 344 mil.
Now, if you were going to go for a loan today, give me the maddest price you'd be comfortable even asking for.
10 grand, bro. What you mean? That's in Edinburgh, bro.
If you went there to the bank today and you asked for a 10 grand loan and they approved it, how would you walk out the bank?
I'd be like, y'all got some credit in this.
You grab your dick out and way. Hey, baby, get in the car. Nigga, gonna come up.
Car. We go get
How
ourselves
much
a whole
more?
new
They
Honda,
said
baby.
344 million, and he said yes.
Bro, you got to have some cojones on you, bro.
Takes the 344 million, right? Buys all the porn sites. Creates Pornhub, creates all of them, and boom, free porn. Advertising. I mean, the hedge fund company are probably just kissing him. But what he said blew my mind. He said the tech value of porn. He said the people that do the coding and the tech for the sites, they will be uncomfortable on a porn set.
Yes.
So the people who are making the most money from porn are not even the ones on the set.
Of course. My good. Oh, my.
So they are really getting fucked.
Yeah.
So you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now the hedge fund people who gave him the 344 million,
Yeah.
who have probably made Trudeausa that now.
Yeah.
These are probably governors or whoever they are. They'll probably fund the same campaign that says porn is wrong.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying, Ola?
Yeah. Bruh.
So when Nigerians are taking all the money and put it in your pocket, it's like, bro, do you understand how corporate greed works? But if you can eat from these people consistently, build a football stadium. You think the Premier League you think you can request the records from the Premier League. You just want to make sure the money's getting trickled down properly. No. But the Etihad, they bought the Saudi Arabia people, not Saudi Arabia, the Qatar family bought the Etihad, Man City.
Qatar's bought the Etihad.
The Qatar family.
Yeah, okay.
Is it the Qatar? One of the UAE families, Abu Dhabi family. They own.
Yeah,
Man
Etihad
City.
is Abu Dhabi. Yes.
Yes, they own Man City.
Yeah.
Qatar family own thingy, PSG, I think, but they own Man City.
Yeah.
Okay, they bought the stadium. They've pumped money in there. What they've also done is change the area, built flats, built accommodation, because they've got money. They're putting it into the area, which brings more people in, which makes jobs, which makes the economy boom. So when they kill someone in the back of a trunk with cocaine, they tell the government, but we built a lot of houses for you though. And the government says, you know what? He was a whatever anyway. Just what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what they should be doing.
Bruh.
Use that money that you're going to die, that you're not going to take it when you're dead, to at least wash it clean and let it come back.
Yeah, and that's the part that is mad for me, is the fact that a lot of them don't seem like the way in which they're happy to get like basically inanimate assets, so they'll buy houses and so on because they just want to hold the value. But like, why you wouldn't fund Nollywood, for example, right? And be like, look, this has got great potential here. It's like the third largest
Picture
movie.
houses, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's turn this into a proper industry.
Yeah.
Or, and to be honest, I'm pretty sure the music. I'm pretty sure some of them have their money in the music because the music is operating
But
at a
they're all
level
signed
now.
to major labels.
Yeah, but I'm sure that they've got their money in there somehow. I
How?
don't know
They're
whether
all
they would have.
signed to major labels.
I'm
They're
saying
all
that
signed to Sony's,
whether they've
Aristas, and that.
whether they funded the artists
The
when they're
only
on the
way
come
they
up.
do that is when they book them for weddings and stuff like that. But the music industry in Nigeria, you can't make money from it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if, let's say, they have funded an artist on the way up on the understanding that when he gets signed, you owe me, right?
That's not
All
what I
I'm
mean,
saying is that I'm
yeah.
sure that there's somebody has thought of something, but in the grand scheme of things, most of them are not willing to actually improve anything with the money. It's actually all it's just entirely consumerist and entirely about consumption now. It's not even thinking about like, what am I gonna like. In Abuja, they've built these huge mansions, and there's like entire streets of them that are all empty because they've all been bought by politicians, and no one can afford to rent them or wants to rent them, and these guys are not living in them, and so they just sit there, right? Those houses just sit there because they just need somewhere to park the money.
Okay.
And the idea is, if I buy a house, I can sell it later on and get the money back out, but I can't have the money sitting in the account. When you have that kind of mentality where everybody's operating like they've just stolen, everything.
Yeah.
The capital is here, the talent's here. You bring them together, and great things can happen. Obviously Pornhub is debatable, but you can see how they were able to replicate that money, and now Pornhub is everywhere around the world. If we could find a way for the capital to meet the talent and for them to actively be able to do something together, we would be able to start changing some things and turning them around. All you just need to do is convince people who have money in Nigeria that you can make them more money. I mean,
you
can't kill them, but the money disappears a lot of the time. Yeah, a lot of them have bought houses in all sorts of places.
I'm talking like a nuclear wipeout and then start again.
Yeah.
I'm joking, but what I mean is, I know what you're saying, and that's that. Listen, if you built I saw Nigerians on the internet commenting on the Euros. I think they were complaining about the coverage, and they said it's a shame that a football mad nation like Nigeria cannot get proper coverage of the Euros. And I said, you're such a football crazy nation, you don't even have a league. And they have a league, but you know what I mean. What I mean is this: like I said,
But you wouldn't back it though.
I would. When I said I want to back a Nigerian league, in the manner you said, I don't want a league that funds players to come to Europe.
Yeah, but I was saying like a league that's actually done well.
A Nigerian league in Nigeria, how I would vision it is, I don't know if I'm talking Premier Leagues there. I'm just talking for jobs. It's a distraction. When the pandemic hit, everything stopped. They brought football back first.
Yeah.
Why do you think they did that? Because if they didn't, the working class were about to bomb the city.
Yeah.
Because they were getting restless.
Yeah.
You bring the football back, they were happy.
Yeah.
Football in this country is a documentary to the people listening, Sunderland Till I Die. Watch it.
And I think one of the reasons football came back, because the gambling companies were losing money. All the ones that do casino were making ridiculous money.
Okay.
All the ones that do sportsbook were struggling.
Because no one's playing any sports.
This is it.
Couldn't they bet when the sport was coming back or something like that?
But that doesn't generate as much, right? So the largest
so the industry's put pressure, right?
The largest taxpayer in this country is the owner of Bet365.
Mad.
So I'm sure she was on the phone.
Well, she's the largest taxpayer because she's the only one paying tax.
There you go.
Them other cats like this, me ain't finna pay none of
that. I live in Gibraltar, nigga.
You know how much she was paying? She paid what? Nah, hell no.
Hell no.
And by the way, again, can you see how many industries eat off of a game called football?
Yeah. All the live pubs, the broadcasting rights, all of the merch, the JD Sports and so on, all of the what's it called, the tourism around it, because all of a sudden all the matches are in different places. People are flying.
Yeah. Also, when England won the World Cup in '66, there was a baby boom. There's a baby boom and the economy as well, because people were happy and they were spending. This is not rocket science.
Yeah.
So what I mean is, if you have a league in Nigeria, you're able to feed communities. You create jobs for people.
Yeah.
If you look at Tottenham, all the stewards are minorities. Every single steward is black or minority or Polish. People that do the ground.
Yeah.
Now, it's not the most glamorous of job, but they live in this country.
Yeah.
They can go on holiday if they want. You know, they can live.
Yeah.
Because at the core, we just need our basic stuff. Everything else is greed. Vanity upon vanity. All is vanity. We only want more so we can feel good about ourselves. But at the core, the pandemic taught us, what do you really, really need?
Yeah.
Because some people were stuck in mansions. Some people were caught up in entanglements. Do you see what I'm saying? Everybody had their issues.
Yeah.
My point is, if you have in Nigeria, someone will be rich. Not everyone can be rich. It's just impossible. But we can all live.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
It just has to have a system.
Yeah.
Not everybody's winning in this country. You have some white people that's like, but they're comfortable. Go to Mabosa. When Sunderland was getting relegated, Sunderland did a documentary called Sunderland Till I Die. They're just going to relegate from the Prem. The documentary did with them on Netflix was to show their rise back to the Prem. But they got relegated that season again to League One. To the point where it was getting so juicy. I'm sure they were like, look, Netflix, we want to put it down. Oh, hell no. This is what we came for. Because a relegation or a promotion was just as good enough for them. So we got to see them go down the second time. And what happened? Fans stopped coming to the game. So the pubs called a meeting with the club. And he said, what's going on? No one's coming to the pub after the games. People are depressed. You're costing us money. And that's the first time it hit my head like, raw.
Yeah, this ain't a game no more.
This ain't a game no more.
This ain't a game.
This is feeding the community.
Yeah.
Because if Sunderland are winning, the pubs are full.
Yeah, man. There's so like Sellers Park is the closest to where I live.
Yes.
And there's a chip shop there called Don Eagles.
Okay.
And I only clocked that because Sellers Park used to be the home ground for both
The dog racing.
No, for Crystal Palace and for Wimbledon. They used to share Sellers Park as their home ground.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. Oh my God, they did.
And Wimbledon were the Dons and
Yes.
Crystal Palace are the Eagles.
Right.
So this chip shop is named Don Eagles, right? Very smart
Absolutely.
planning, because every time there's football on, everybody's in there getting their fish and chips, right?
Mad.
It's almost like the unofficial
Football,
official
club.
fish and chip spot for if you're a Palace fan or a Wimbledon fan, right? So obviously, Wimbledon has since left. They split up. There was AFC Wimbledon and MK Dons, and then Crystal Palace has now become a thing. So I mean, when it's going well for them. But what I could see there from just observing that, and I was as a kid that I clocked the Don Eagles thing, and I saw how the business worked and so on. Because most of the time that place is empty. Like fish and chips is not really like a go-to. All the chicken shops stayed full in Thornton Heath, but those guys were able to live off of just the influx of football fans that come in on a Saturday.
Imagine that.
This thing is not a game, bro.
It's not a game. It's not a game.
That's why if you look at even the way FIFA's run like it's the UN, bruv.
What?
As in, like the way
it's
that
mafioso.
I mean, it is mafioso.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that there's so much structure and so many rules and laws in place.
Absolutely.
Because the thing is very important to the
But
world.
here's the thing: you think the country that gets the World Cup is done because
Come on, bro.
we all said we wanted to see it
Come
here.
on, bro. I got a joke about Qatar getting the World Cup. We all know how Qatar got the World Cup.
Yeah,
bro.
they just sat him down in the room and said, "What do you want?"
This is it. It's not
What do you
because there's
want?
no reason they
No
don't have a
reason for them.
football.
No.
Cultural
Nothing,
scene.
nothing.
They don't even have the stadiums
Nothing.
ready.
But
the
Qatar
heat is
realized,
high.
the UAE has realized these things attract people to your country.
Yeah.
And I think my brother
You know
was saying,
Qatar's different from UAE, right? You keep saying
yeah,
mentioning them together.
I know. But
Qatar's
wasn't
a
they part of them at one point? I know they got
No.
beef now.
They had beef. They're cool now. You can fly
Let's go to
between.
beef. You can fly between them.
Yeah,
they're petty as hell. Can you
Yeah.
see? Can you see? This is when
The
I tell people.
yeah.
When I tell people, look how you're living. When you're, and this is not me trying to be condescending to the man them on the ends. I know it's mad, but when you're doing knife crime and shanking man for the postcode and the ends and the reputation, and these men are saying, what? What'd you say? All right, no more airlines to your country. Hey, it's
Man
a
locked
different
off
level.
all the flights
It's
to
a
your.
different level.
It's different.
When man says, all right, no more airlines to your country. And he said, all right, fuck you, no airlines to your country. That's how they're fighting, plugging in airlines.
They're like, "Hey, come squash it, man."
And they call it, let's parlay. Come on, man. Why'd you got to close the airports like that, dog? You know how to.
You know how to do
You know how to
something,
do
man. You know what I'm
something,
saying? Like, the streets is watching. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
America was watching. I had to show sign. But that's how they're beefing.
yeah.
Don't reduce yourself to the small shit, man.
Bruh.
It's bigger than that. When them men are fighting, it's a different level of play here.
Yeah.
When you if Nigeria disrespected England, they'll just say, "Huh?
Pardon?
I beg your pardon." Did
But
we
you,
not?
but you know we try to do tit for tat as well.
Did we
You
not
know,
make ourselves clear? Yeah. When, like, for instance,
for the visas.
Twitter, chastise. Well, Buhari comes out of Twitter regulations
Yeah.
because, again, it's a Twitter is a Western creation
Yeah.
with Western rules.
Yeah.
They don't care about your little, I'm the president of Nigeria, so you can't do that.
Yeah. No,
Plus, they
no,
don't respect African leaders anyway.
Yeah.
So you fall into the trap of being insulted on Twitter, and rather than you just shut up, you come with your pride and ban Twitter in Nigeria. By the way, corruption not banned. Fraud not banned. No electricity. None of those bans come into play. It's like when they gave homosexualities, gay people will get 13 years for being gay. I said, what's the crime for stealing then?
Bruh. Don't even ask me, man, because we insist that British people get a visa just because they make us get a visa.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Meanwhile, who's the most people that go to Nigeria? Nigerians. And again, that's not how you deal with the West. They honestly don't care.
Yeah.
Your bodies will come here regardless.
Yeah.
And if they can't get you, they'll make it attractive for Haiti to come here.
Yep.
And so I was saying, the Middle East, that conflict was so funny to me because it's like, look how rich people behave. It's still the same gang mentality.
Yeah. It is. Bruh.
Like, even Hancock. You think that was just a mistake? Someone's trying to get him.
I mean, the fact the camera's there, no one can still explain that.
Right. And you sit there thinking, listen, we've all tried to cheat before, or cheated, not all of us. But anybody who's been in the cheating business knows. Anybody knows who's been in the cheating business knows. You don't just come outside and start funneling. You don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
You got to plan these things, emails, it's texts.
No, you can't even do emails or text.
Right.
At that level, bro.
That's slipping.
Nah, you got to have a flipping carrier pigeon. You got to have like a piece of paper that you burn afterwards. You need to go to old school methods, bro. Something that can never come back to you. To be honest, yeah, they must have just got brazen to a certain extent as well. But yeah, they definitely got set up.
My sister said to me, my sister was like, they've messaged him like the week before.
Oh yeah,
the story's coming.
Yeah.
Get your ducks in a row.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's basically it.
He probably tried to say, come on, man, allow me. You know I fucked up. Don't do this.
Yeah.
I probably had no good leverage for them to not bring it out.
Yeah. Bruh, you see, that's the thing right now, yeah. And if it is Dominic Cummings doing all of that because they shafted him, then it just goes to show you, man, that, like, these men are doing the exact same stuff that people do on social media, bro.
Wait. What did Boris say? Boris was probably like, man, you couldn't call me dog. I got these hoes in check. Like, come on, man, you can't be playing that like that.
Boris is like, yeah, we've, I have 100% faith, or I still have belief in him. Of course, you have to say that. You
ain't got a lot to stand on.
Nah, man, that nigga don't have how many kids he's got.
You know when you realize how mad the game was remember when John Terry slept with Wayne Bridges'
wife? Yeah,
not wife, ting.
Oh, was it?
Wasn't his wife?
My goodness,
it was a girl.
Yeah,
but it was a girl that frequented footballers.
Okay,
right. You ask yourself, why are you involved in that? You're married. You've got your own wife. What is it about her?
Sometimes because she's available.
Sometimes because it's just there. You think Dominic? Let's be honest.
The wife don't come on the coach with you when you're playing.
What's it called? You think Dominic Cummings is the only cabinet minister with a side piece?
Well, no, I mean, you mean Hancock, but I mean, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Hancock.
Yeah, of course not.
We got Hancock. Yeah, you think Hancock is the only?
Of course not, bruv. Of course not. They're all banging each other, bruv. What do you mean? What do you mean? You think these things are just... Anyway, bruv. Anyway. Jeremy Corbyn and Diane Abbott used to do a thing back in the day.
Never.
Yeah, they were boyfriend and girlfriend back in the day.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were boyfriend and girlfriend back in the day. A lot of that political worlds...
Yeah, but boyfriend and girlfriend is different from,
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that one differently. But what I'm saying is that, like, that world, by the time you lot all know each other... Yeah. You know that so-and-so lips so-and-so back at the drinker.
Justin Fashion knew. Justin or John?
Justin. Okay.
He was gay one, innit?
Yeah.
He was doing things with MPs in the Yeah, in the parliament. Sucked
Yeah,
up
I
an MP.
heard this, but I didn't know which one it was.
No one said which one it was.
Okay.
You know, they had to remove the basins, the thingies in parliament because people were doing coke. They had to remove them from the toilet.
Mad.
So when you put these people on the pedestal, they're no different from you.
Well, I don't do coke.
What I mean is, they're no
Yeah.
different from the vices and the
Yeah.
trials of this world.
Can you imagine what the parliamentary internet system must be like? Man, they're watching porn in the
I don't know if you can watch.
office.
I think it's.
They must have had to filter that out.
Definitely.
Or they're getting
Definitely.
some like on Her Majesty's service.
Remember that man
Secret
that was
Service
claiming
level grade
expenses
porn.
was claiming porn on his wife's expenses.
Yeah, but that one was sad though, because it was in a hotel that they genuinely used. Your wife has gone to the meeting or whatever. You're by yourself. You click it and it shows up on the bill. That's not your fault, man. That one was. I felt bad for that guy, man, because at that time he wasn't considering. Hold on a second. What if they put an adult package on the hotel bill and she has to file the expenses and blah blah blah? All he was like, "Come on, man. I got a wife who's busy trying to run stuff and whatnot. She's tired. She's got a meeting in the morning. I could knock a quick one off. We can afford it. It's $15.99.
It was even $15.99.
I don't know, bro. I just assumed.
I'm just thinking, but that's the thing, It's like we vilify people for doing this shit. Let me tell you something, yeah. God knows me, innit? That's why I'm not prime minister.
There's a New York City councillor, I think. It's something like that. Well, I can't remember what the position was. Recently, a sex tape leaked of him, like doing like bondage, like BDSM stuff, and my guy just firmed it. He was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm into."
Bro, what can you do?
Bro, you know how gangster that is.
Video.
What do you do after they've seen the video?
Yeah,
You having your
and it's probably liberating.
bro.
Because, like I said, I don't. If you think about it like this, you know yourself, innit? You know, if you became a billionaire CEO of a comedy industry tomorrow, you're gonna be a cunt. Not that you're not a nice person, but you won't have no problem being a cunt.
I will have a problem with it. I'll do it, but I just need to ease into it. Bro.
I'll just say he's still working on me.
Yeah, I mean,
He ain't through with me yet. And what I mean is, you just know yourself. I know if I'm an R&B singer, I probably won't make it to 2 albums. Because by the time the first album drops and they're throwing panties at me, I mean, the scandal, I'll be in trouble. Funmbi wakes up in a zoo in Hollywood this morning. I'll be in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm emotionally unstable most of the time. I'm having outbursts. I'm not. If I was president, for instance, I wouldn't take disrespect lightly. I'm not that kind of person.
Right.
Mr. President, what are you going to do about healthcare? First of all, lower your tone when you talk to man. Innit? No. Sorry. Respect man, innit? Respect man when you're talking to him. I just want to be able to help man. Who are you talking to, bro?
Yeah, but who are you talking to, man?
All
the press conferences.
Are you going to do, in England? Oh my God. Yeah. Whoa. Am I talking?
Who is it that had that joke about? Was it Cedric? About how you can't just front on a black president.
Like, tell us about Monica Lewinsky. What you just going from my wife and everything?
It's my wife
and everything. And that's because I know I couldn't be that person. Because whether you like it or not, all of them are trained to put those emotions aside.
Yeah. You have to be a cold-hearted person to be a politician.
Do you know that some people are going to know about this? You cut the funding that was for our children who had leukemia. And you're just going to be like, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to build those fundings. I'm here to hear your complaints. Yeah. But I'll be like, this bitch, I ain't cut shit.
Bruh.
I didn't know. we have a leukemia.
Have you seen Nigerian politicians reacting to being confronted?
Right.
Bro.
Because they don't understand
I've
what
seen one in real life.
Is.
I've seen one in real life, basically, where I was at Nigerian High Commission. I went to an event there, and a woman came to come and show like a local school. And the roof was leaking and blah, blah. It was really bad. And so she's like, "Sir, I just want to show you something. Just because we have to do something about this. Now I've got you here, Your Excellency. Please, you know the people that can help with this kind of matter." Before he even saw what it was, he was like, "Oh, please make sure you don't show me anything that's going to be too blah, blah. Don't, please, don't show me." Because he thought it was going to be like dead bodies or anything like that. He said, "No, it's this school." The guy looks at it and he said, "This is better than where I went to school." Bro.
Hey, that's a politician. No, that's a politician answer.
There's one where there's a video of it, and this one basically like there's like what happened was like the uni went on strike, basically, and the local governor was in town, and the students were protesting. The governor shows up, and they're like, basically chanting at the politician. All of his military and everything, get everybody to calm everybody down, that he's going to address them. Then he says something like, what you people are doing is a waste of time. They start booing, like, what do you mean? Like, this is unbelievable. The guy's like, show me more to school, you. Show me more to school, you. He's basically saying, am I the one that closed your school?
I'm done.
He said, when I show up, you're supposed to say, Ejo, sir, they closed our school. What can you do to help us? You speak with respect. What do you mean? Whatever you're going to do it. Stay there.
You know what, yeah?
And it goes off.
The beauty of that line, like,
it's like,
it's
what?
it's the height of Yoruba
Yes.
arrogance.
Unbelievable. How can you be the governor of a state? A university has gone on strike and you're like, am I the one that closed your school?
Like that.
Bruh, do you know how infuriated it must have been for those students sitting there?
Yeah.
And the guy's just talking to them like, when I come, you're supposed to even address me with respect and be pleading with me. And then after that, after he's told them that they should plead with him and they're still like shouting or whatnot, he's like, anything you want to do, just go and do it. Can you imagine?
And now he's going to leave there with this whole, I'm not giving that school a penny type vibe.
Can you imagine, bro? So, yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, even the fact that here it's like I deeply regret my actions, blah blah. You have to go do that fake stuff, bro. If you want to see what it really looks like, if you want to see with no compassion,
you know what,
if you want to see what happens with no Tupac in the game,
right,
bro,
right,
go watch a politician in Nigeria get confronted.
You know the saddest thing about what we just said? If we take most of the corrupt Nigerian people out of the game, you don't want to see what's behind them.
At every level, bro.
You don't want to see
at every level. You don't want to see who's behind them.
That's why you can't really you have to maneuver.
Yeah.
But what you were saying about if Hancock was a G,
yeah,
he should just come to the mic and said, "He without sin cast the first stone," and just chilled,
bro.
Like, when Jesus got the adulteress and he put his head down. Before he looked up, he said, "Where you accuse us?" Like, shit. They went home to get some stones.
But people here just be liars, man. People here are such hypocrites right now. Everyone's got a value system that allows their sins to not be that bad. Like, I've never cheated on my wife. But you done screwed someone out of some money before.
You done
be
a
like,
lot.
yeah, that was just money.
That was just money. Yeah, you can justify your own indiscretions.
Yours.
And the new thing now, to set up a debate on Facebook when your opinion is challenged, if you don't know the facts, I can't help you. If you don't know, you don't know.
Bro, we need to wrap up, because if we get deep into that.
But it's just that, to wrap up or to round up today's podcast, because we said a lot. But in terms of Nigeria, I think that's where we got a bit, lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear that, I don't have no hope for Nigeria. It's just, I was with my friend my brother's brother-in-law on the weekend. And he was like, I've lost hope in Nigeria. And every time he spoke about it, see how I got kind of upset / passionate? Yeah. He got upset.
Okay.
And it's not upset that he's angry at Nigeria. It's upset that that's his home and he doesn't even want to go back. He said when I met my wife, I told her my plan, this guy grew up in Bagada, Ifako, near me. Yeah. Went to the same primary school as me. Yeah. But we never met each other. Wow. Because I'm quite old. I'm considerably older than him, and he's quite younger than my brother. Yeah. But he's married to my brother's wife. Okay. My brother's wife's sister. Okay. But that's how close we were. But now we're together because of that. Yeah. And he said he told her, my ambition is to go back to Nigeria. Are you okay with that? And she was like, yeah. But as time went on, he started to realize it's not possible. They have a house, garden in Dartford. If he moved to Nigeria, he could have a garden, but that's where he's going to live. Because it's not possible. You have a home, bro. I come to your house to do this podcast. There's 30-year-old Nigerians that cannot have a house. My cousin came to my house. My mum's in Dagenham. You've been to my mum's yard. Mm-hmm. She went to Nigeria and told them that my mum lives in a palace.
I mean, no disrespect to your mom's house.
Right, bruv. Even I was like, y'all live in the palace.
I didn't know like they did terraced palaces
She
or
said
semi-detached palaces.
She said my mum and dad live in a palace.
Wow, it's not. You know, some people be.
So
doing
what
too
I
much
mean
though, 'cause
is, what I mean is
they
when
can get a home in Nigeria.
not like we can. No, not like we can. There's no mortgage system for young people.
Okay.
There's no
Yeah, that's what I
renting.
mean.
There's no buying scheme. There's no council estate where you can.
You have to pay it
live
off
with
in
family.
like 5 years.
You
know?
have to. You live with family. Grown. When I was a kid, we had uncles and aunties in their 20s living with us. I didn't realize they were in their 20s because we called them uncle and aunt. I thought they were 45 each, but they were young people. But they had to live in the rules of older Nigerians. That's why they were always so old. We're different because we live like young people. And so what I mean is, sometimes when we complain, or I guess I would say complain, it's the disappointment of how simple it could be, but how complex we've made it.
On that note, bro.
On that note,
tell the people where they can find you.
At Funmbi, or in Hackney.
Or in Hackney, I like that.
You can find me in the... No, we've done that already.
At Ola the Comedian on everything. That's on Neighborhood.
On Crip.
And yo, you guys, thank you for rocking with us. Shout out to the people that have sent me really good feedback. Shout out to those of you guys who messaged me to say you really enjoyed the pod. God bless you all. Stay blessed. Peace.